Valve time. We back,
I like Left 4 Dead. I like the characters, I like the guns, I like the special infected. What if I stripped all the charm away from it? As you can already see off the rip here, we have our soldier people. I can't even tell who's who. I don't have a proper HUD. It's instead a,
we're back of Portal Tim. Yippee. We have the annoying ass, people.
Good, that's back online. I'll start.
Shut up.
While you perform this first simple test, which involves deadly lasers and how test subjects react when locked in a room with deadly lasers.
You're annoying, by the way. I got it there. Oh. Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Not bad.
Here we go.
I forgot how good you are at this. You should pace yourself, though. We have a lot of tests.
I do know, because we played the actual game. Oh.
Actual relation to anything. We just decided to get 10 million views out of nowhere. And a crazy fandom. How did this happen? I'm not gonna waste your time like every other video I see on the planet on E-Earth and just hop
This
right
next
into
test
it.
involves discouragement redirection cubes. I just finished building them before you had your, well, episode. So now we'll both get to see how they work. There should be one in the corner.
YouTube still needs to answer for.
Someone in the corner. Oh, there he is.
Original characters in a similar setting to the indie horror game from 2017. Explain what Baldi's is.
There you go.
Eternally onlineology. So I'll try to keep it brief. It's a horror parody of games directed at babies about a crazy killer teacher whose baby still got scared and made another angsty phantom. Okay, moving on. That's all we need to know. What is the paper version? It's really cool looking, honestly, the way the paper moves. Like, dang, bro. Well, I've been subbed to Katie before this.
Well done. Here come the test results. You are a horrible person.
I don't care, Gladys! I do not care!
The second one being traditional, and ironically, in a more untraditional dream sequence, similar to how Miss Circle will become my trad wife. There isn't any dialogue to the storytelling,
Don't let
so you have to
that
do
horrible
research to
person
find
thing
out the
discourage you.
character's name.
It's just a data point. If it makes you feel any better, science has now validated your birth mother's decision to abandon you on a doorstep.
Okay, can you just please kill yourself right now?
They're also trapped here. He's finally reached his breaking point.
I said, I hate the clipboard and I hate this place.
And this desire for a new life becomes overwhelming.
No, I want to go somewhere different. I want to get out of this place.
And can you really blame him? Each episode plays out like a fever dream. One that I think all of us would want to wake up from if we were forced to take part day in, day out. Now, of course, everyone is different, but when I do the same thing over and over every day, I find it hard to keep track of dates and memories. Everything sort of blends together, and this can be frustrating.
Congratulations, not on the test. Most people emerge from suspension terribly undernourished. I want to congratulate you on beating the odds and somehow managing to pack on a few pounds.
It's just wonderful. Look at that tree. Look at that big old bush. Look at that birdie. And then the second time, it's still pretty wonderful. Oh cool, the tree. Oh cool, the big old bush. Oh cool, the birdie bird. But then, on your 100th day of this walk, it becomes becomes a drag.
One moment.
Switch your mind off because you've done it so much.
I don't care.
Test James
Hold on.
faster than I can build them, so feel free to slow down and do whatever
Don't care.
you do when you're not destroying this facility.
There's a
Oh.
path that you've never walked down before.
Okay, huh?
Could be down it, could be bad, could be amazing. Oh, what an adventure. I'm gonna walk down here and
There we go.
break that routine. Even if just a little
Got cube.
there's a big difference between this scenario and Red's life.
Okay.
All of these
I got him.
He's made to walk the same route every day by unknown forces outside of his control.
Oh shit.
On the other hand,
I forgot. I forgot.
enjoys his life
I died.
with the trio and the cycle that comes with it. It doesn't get much better.
Oh.
He keeps a tight grip on the
Oh.
and refuses to let Yellow even hold
Hold on.
it. He has to
I get idea.
always do. Every time he's gone against one of the teachers, it's been because he just wanted to go back home and get on with what they're supposed to be doing.
Maybe cuts off here.
And this could be because, to some people, a fixed routine provides comfort. It can help keep you on track. And
Oh, come on.
from spiraling. It all depends on
1, 2, 3. Fight day, what's to do?
Mr. Go with the flow and Senor in the plan. It just so happens that in this occasion,
Yeah,
Red,
bonk.
because as a viewer, we know that this place isn't really their home. It's more of a cage, as we'll soon see how difficult it really is to escape. Red attempts to exit out the door into the living room, but as he steps in, Yellow and Duck are already there, waiting for him. He can't get away from them. And this is something which is expanded upon as the story progresses. The idea that simply changing your location isn't always going to change your routine. And this... Jumping duty again. Any more than just brownie points? Then you're ready to go.
Scan your club card to save with club deals, earn rewards, and much more.
Hold on.
Find your wonderful new world.
This simple act is the first sign in this episode of the external force that's keeping them here. With Duck saying going anywhere else is not allowed, as though they need permission to leave from some kind of warden. All three of them must be here in order to act out this puppet show. Whoever is in control is clearly not happy with Red suggesting they do something against their grand design. Something
Hold
out
on.
of the routine. As just at this moment,
Get,
Rose is shaking and an old gentleman
this.
in through their
Get this. Get that.
to keep Red from
Hold on.
influencing
Get this.
or free thinking. But Red is tired of these misguided teachings. He just wants some freedom.
Oh fuck.
Red's fine
Oh come
to
on.
get his wish because this train man reveals he's here to take them on a journey through the art of song, teaching them all about, well, transport. But it's quickly made apparent that he is in control. This is all just a trick, a mind game from the puppet master to try and satisfy his longing to get out of the house. But under
Hold on.
and Red sees right through it.
Nice to be back at home, eh?
Well, no. What are you talking about? We didn't even go anywhere.
And he's right. It seems more like this is some kind of projection. Because of how old this train man is, midway through the song, he dies. Just when he's taken the form of a car, and when the 2D animation fades,
Oh hell no.
he's still in the living room. They haven't moved at all. Red wants more than just transport. He wants a one-way ticket rather than a round trip.
There we go.
It leads him straight back to the cause of his unhappiness.
I'll give you
There we
this.
go.
I guess you are listening to me.
Stop at
And for the
nothing
record,
to
you
get
don't
it.
have to go
But
that
first,
slowly.
he needs to learn how to ghost ride the whip, finding a box full of tapes containing lessons on how to drive. But none of these lessons are correct unless you're a character from Fast and Furious. It's all dangerous.
Handbrake turns around tight corners at high speed are a great way to impress new colleagues.
Huh?
This is the first of many obstacles which come in the way of Red's new life. And every single one, Yellow and Doug accept defeat. They want to turn back and give up.
We can't just do stuff, us three, can we?
This next test involves the Aperture Science Aerial Faceplate. It was part of an initiative to investigate how well test subjects could solve problems when they were catapulted into space. Results were highly informative. They could not. Good luck.
And Duck and Yellow are confused.
This guy is rewinding.
All of the sets in the show are still, and when jumping from location to location, we never see the journey, just them disappearing from one place and appearing in another. So now that the background is moving, it's so much more impactful. It almost feels like a different show. We even get what is arguably the only song in the series, which stays fun throughout.
Here's an interesting fact. You're not breathing real air. It's too expensive to pump this far down. We just take carbon dioxide out of the room, freshen it up a little, and pump it back in. So you'll be breathing the same room full of air for the rest of your life. I thought that was interesting.
Shut up!
As when Duck asks if he can drive for a bit, Red shuts him down,
No. You stay back there in your area.
distracting him with a TV instead. I find it interesting how, now that the
Let's
power
see what the
dynamic
next
of
test
who's in
is.
charge
Oh,
has shifted from
advanced
the
aerial
puppet master
faceplate.
to Red,
Well,
that he's
have
beginning
fun
to
soaring
use
through the
same
air without a
tricks
care in
that
the
are being
world.
used on
I have to go to the wing that was made entirely of glass and pick up 15 acres of broken glass by myself.
And by placing
Move, damn it!
in the back seat, it establishes Red as
Yay, radiation.
But this battle for control between the Red and the Puppet Master isn't over just yet. They have one last obstacle up their sleeve. The car's talking GPS pops up to give them directions, except it keeps trying to guide them back home.
Oh, sorry. I'm still cleaning out the test chambers, so sometimes there's still trash in them, standing around, smelling and being
And
useless.
its final words
Try to avoid the garbage hurtling towards you.
It sounds desperate, and it makes you start to wonder that maybe whatever's keeping them
Oh, really
in the
then?
house isn't doing so out of cruelty. Maybe it's trying to shield the trio from what's really happening. But Red is determined to find out for himself. We now see that Red has a specific location in mind, a community that he's read about in a flyer, handing it to Yellow to read. We then enter his mind as he dreams of this wonderful place. It has the aesthetic of an old English village. What kind of idiot would want to live in one of them? The dream takes on a sort of visual travel guide with narration from a friendly woman telling visitors all about the joys of living in one of these communities.
Hold on.
But what's Molestown all about? Well, the village is populated by characters.
Oh, I can see like the cube.
British animation, Postman Pat, a true child.
Here we go. And
Friendly than most of the other puppets we see throughout the show. It all seems
oh, that might be.
calm and peaceful here, bright and sunny. And if you've ever been to
Hold
the
on.
UK, you know that the sun isn't real, just a bit of actor. It all points towards this place.
1, 2, bonk.
This promotional video offers up a happy, unrealistic scenario, rather than the darker truth, as we'll later learn that everything we're told about the place the trio are headed is a lie. But where this dream really gets interesting is when Yellow interacts with this narrator, as she shows him around, taking him to his new home. The neighbours look worried, as though they know something bad is about to happen.
Remember
Despite
before when I
this,
was talking
they welcome
about
Yellow
smelly
with a
garbage
kiss.
standing around being
Bird,
useless?
often seen
That was a
as
metaphor.
sign of
I was
freedom.
actually
As
talking
being
about you.
able to fly
And I'm
allows you the
sorry.
luxury
You
to
didn't
go
react at the
wherever
time,
you
so I
please
was
in
worried
an
it sailed
instant.
right over
And just
you.
like the
Which would
trio
have made
in
this
the
apology
house,
seem
this
insane.
bird is trapped
That's why I had
inside
to call
a
you
colourful
garbage a second
cage,
time just
and the
now.
narrator is opposed to this idea of freedom, describing the bird as
It's a rat, or some kind of worthless animal.
her relaxing voice and inviting tone are slipping. The
Did you
bird,
know
now
people
free,
with guilty
flies away,
consciences are more
Yellow
easily
chasing
startled
after
by
it,
loud noise?
running into the road and getting flattened. Now,
I'm
this
sorry,
is
I don't know why that went on. Anyway, just an interesting.
No, that's halfway to Boileras.
towards what's really going on here. Now, this voice isn't just a voice narrating the dream. but
Did I
the one in
accidentally
control
fizzle
of
that
this
before you
place.
could complete the
This
test?
isn't
I'm sorry.
Fuck you.
Go ahead and grab another one.
detail is that when Yellow is hit by the car, the narrator greatest scream is one that has so much
Keep you!
I fizzled that one too.
mind that a teacher
We
would
have
one
warehouses
of the
full of
trio,
the thing.
as no one here
Absolutely
seems to really
worthless.
care about
I'm happy to use it.
just any old story that's
No!
it's a memory. I believe we're seeing the truth behind the words of someone very close to this mystery woman. Whoever created this place had a son who was killed the same way, chasing a bird into the road, which would explain why she has so much disgust for this worthless animal.
Or some kind of worthless animal.
She blames it for what happened to her boy. And let's not forget, in the episode Death, the coffin originally guessed that Yellow was the dead one, not Doug. And on the tombstone was written the name David, which is likely what the big D on Yellow's overall stands for. The son's name. The Yellow we know is a recreation of his son, a puppet forced to live out this existence.
Hold on.
The creator can pretend he's still around, which is why her power to make sure they stay in line. And by keeping the trio in this never-ending routine and distracting them every time they become aware and defiant, she likely believes that she's shielding them from the harsh truth of their reality, that they have no free will, because, well, they're puppets. I mean, the whole show is about shielding the trio from the cruelties of reality by telling them a happy lie instead. Now, this theory runs deeper, so I'll talk more about it at the end of the video and in the next video when we have more information. So subscribe and hit the bell if you don't want to miss it. When Yellow wakes from this nightmare, things are very different. The bird which Yellow was gifted now lays dead on the window, the symbol of freedom gone. It's no longer a fun road trip for the trio. As they travel further and further from the house, everything that we've come to expect from the show fades away. Everything about this journey has completely changed. The vibrant blue sky has darkened, and many of the trees are now dead. Doug's TV turns off, and the curtain is pulled back. A nice little nod to how the curtain covering their reality is about to disappear. It turns out Mr. Transport is really dead, and now that he's awake, he doesn't want them behind the wheel. After all, he was sent here to keep them in line. And it's kind of unsettling because they're inside a sentient being as they're called red-handed, and you're not quite sure how he's going to react. And because Red does usually sound so monotone,
And we can leave our pathetic life behind.
it's so much more impactful to hear him so emotional.
Don't go back, I'm not going back to the house!
This is by far the most exaggerated we've seen him, apart from his throwaway line in the opening to the episode Friendship.
We live in an actual nightmare!
His emotions throughout the show range from dissatisfied to annoyed to desperate, but it never really swings back the other way. He never really has a moment of happiness, and on the very rare occasion he does, it never lasts, or it's not even real.
Every
Red
test
is so
chamber is
determined
equipped
to
with an
escape,
emancipation
he forces
grill
Mr.
at its
Transport
exit,
off,
so that test
suffocating
subjects
him.
cannot
Seems,
smuggle test
however,
objects
this
out of the
doesn't
test
solve
area.
it,
This one is
because as the
broken.
car dies,
Don't
it
take
begins to
anything
stop,
with you.
and that control
Nuh-uh.
to travel wherever he wishes stops with it. Their surroundings begin to glitch out like a simulation.
Hehehehe.
Get the
Got achievement.
I think that one was about to say, I love you. They are sentient, of course. We just have a lot of them.
reality, and a grim one too. They're in the junkyard, and this is an excellent choice of location, as it couldn't be more different from their lives in the children's puppet show. In their house, everything is so smooth, so soft. The lighting is even and controlled.
This
making
next
it
test
look
involves
like a
emancipation
live-action
grills.
cartoon. But now,
Remember, I
everything's
told
a
you
mess.
about them in
There's
the
no
last test
order,
area,
no
but did
structure.
not have one.
It's all decaying, falling apart. Just look at them against this background. They don't belong here. And it's likely the puppet master knew this. It makes you wonder
The
whether they would
turbines
have been
again.
better off
I have
if
to
they had
go.
just stayed in
Wait,
the house.
this next
Kept the
test
mystery
does
of what's
require
out
some
there as just a
explanation.
nice
Let me
dream.
give you the fast
Something to
version.
keep Red going.
Ah, come on.
There. If you have any questions, just remember what I said in slow motion. Test on your own recognizance.
Oh, hold on.
And I guess technically he got what he wanted, to see something else,
I
but it's
got
not
it,
how
yeah.
he imagined it. It's not better than his
Take
current
that.
situation. And it gets worse. Night comes, and as they sit around in the cold, burning what's
Ow, 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 ow.
transport for warmth, Duck picks up a clipboard and begins to do inventory.
One rock. One stick.
The same thing that started the episode off. The same thing which Red wanted to escape from. The routine. No matter how far he runs or where he goes, as long as he's in the trio, he can't escape it. He's in denial now.
Yeah, they'll be here. Don't worry. Somebody will turn up.
He can't accept reality, or at least not this reality. Red is driven by the idea that, well, maybe I'd be thriving if I was somewhere else, when really, changing your environment doesn't necessarily change your situation, because it can be driven by things outside your control. Red, like most of us, can be pessimistic. So
The
I
aerial
think no
faith
matter
fighting
where
here sending
he
a
and the
distress
trio
signal.
ended up,
You
he'd still
broke it,
be
didn't you?
unsatisfied, because there
There.
isn't this
Try it
perfect
now.
place out there where all your problems disappear. If you watched my first video, you might remember I called Red
Right, I was just
the
lying
straight
there.
man of the group, and no, that isn't a
This
comment
plate
about
must not
his
be calibrated
sexuality.
to someone of your
Puppet Master.
generousness.
When
I'll
can I
add a few
leave to be
zeros
on
to the
my
maximum
own?
weight.
I've got the whole world
You
to
look
see.
great, by the way. Very healthy.
Reacts when compared
Try it
to
now.
everyone else in the show. His lack of enthusiasm is reserved.
Hi.
I'd say that Red is
You
the
seem
most
to have defeated its
relatable out of the
load-bearing
trio.
capacity.
I originally
Oh my god! Stop, you stupid little nit!
has more relevance to the overall story and bigger picture. The Red's outlook and mindset.
Oh my god. Thank you.
People have than you might think, and in this case, Red's inability to find happiness is literal. There's an actual being stopping it from happening, but in reality, there isn't necessarily this one being, but there are still countless other complicated factors outside our control, which can make us feel unsatisfied. There's mental health issues that can make going out of your comfort zone extremely draining, or feel as though change is hopeless. Not to mention the fact that it's easier than ever now to compare yourself to others. There are countless reasons why people might feel dissatisfied, and this desire to escape might not necessarily be about getting out of a physical, exact location, but really about wanting to get out of your head, away from those negative thoughts. And throughout this video, I've been talking about this routine as if it's a bad thing, and that's only because this is how Red sees his, partly because he's not in control of it. But I think it's important to find out where you fit on this scale, because again, it's all preference. This episode is just more about the tragedy of a character who craves excitement and something new, but is forced into a routine that isn't even their own. But this isn't the end of Red's story. It's time for reveal number 2, because we then see the hand of not a puppet, but a real woman, the first human we've seen in the show. And it's likely that as a human, she's the one in control, as every puppet has a person pulling the strings. This woman places a miniature of the car they travelled in outside a model of their house. The same model we've seen during every single intro to every single episode. But this time, there's more context. This is where the trio's whole lives play out, and there is someone much, much larger in control
Look
of
at
their
you,
every move,
sailing through the air
able to shift them
majestically,
back and
like
reset
an
them
eagle,
anytime
piloting
you
a
wish,
blimp.
like their playthings. And this woman gives us what sounds like a nursery rhyme.
But no matter how much the wheels turn, the journey always ends up back at home.
Which when taken alone and out of context is a very comforting line. It's reassurance, but it holds a darker meaning when your home is your prison. It's almost another way of saying...
Enjoy this next test. I'm going to go to the surface. It's a beautiful day out. Yesterday I saw a deer. If you solve this next test, maybe I'll let you ride an elevator all the way up to the break room. And I'll tell you about the time I saw a deer again.
What makes something a good song? Clever lyrics, a rocking guitar solo, auto-tune, Well, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is full of musical classics, ranging from campfire songs to the kind of thing you'd hear at a stanky rave. So I thought it'd be a bunch of fun to rank them all in a battle of the ages. Brother versus brother, song versus song. It's gonna get intense. The music is such a big part of the show. Usually, some kind of inanimate object comes alive and begins teaching the lead trio misleading life lessons, often starting out fun and jolly, before taking a dark turn. And boy, there's quite a few of them, so I think it's best if we just roll up our sleeves and jump straight into it. Also, I just want to say, this show is incredible, and every single song on here is at least an 8 out of 10. So just because a song is low on this list doesn't mean it's a bad scene. That being said, let's go.
Number 15.
Todney's Bedtime Song.
No thank you to the song, Todney.
Tommy's Bedtime Song
Oh, God.
is the shortest track on this list. It's kind of the musical form of a roofie. It's used to make Yellow pass the fuck out. So I guess it's kind of more spell than song, which is pretty dangerous. This song should only be sung by responsible folks. And I gotta say, Tommy boy, it's a little one note. It's just Tommy making bird noises over and over again in different pitches. But maybe, if we heard the full version, we'd get some Kendrick Lamar level storytelling. So this one's sort of an enigma. When his little face pops up from behind Lily, it cracks me up every single time. Tommy's enthusiasm really carries this one. I'm not sure what he's trying to say, but he is saying it with passion. But again, it's not really a proper song, and too much is unknown about it. And that's why I gotta put it lower down. Number 14, Warren's Friendship Song. Oh Warren, you slimy, slimy boy. I really wanted to make you a
Come
song,
on, yes.
like these. It ain't happening, partner. The friendship song is what happens when the last person who should be teaching you about friendship attempts to do so. It's a story time song. Once upon a time there was a guy that I knew. Where Warren the Worm, Eagle, gives us an example of what happened to his friend, who drove all his mates away because he needs to be the center of attention. But he doesn't portray it this way. It's made out like they did him dirty by not giving him money for his business idea. Everything about this song is so uncomfortable because Warren's character is designed to be pathetic. It's not intended to be a good song. None of it really rhymes. At the end, he just mashes all the keys. I mean, he's giving it his all. But the trio just stare on in silence with blank expressions on their faces, occasionally chiming in to express their confusion.
How long is this gonna last?
Warren keeps throwing in these little uncomfortable nervous laughs at the end of his lines, and it makes it feel like we're watching a Year 6 talent show.
When he felt like his friends weren't treating him right.
Or someone who's come in to talk to the students about friendship, but none of it is landing. Like, remember when Ninja tried to break the world record for the most number of people flossing in one location?
I'm not seeing enough movement.
Yeah, it just kind of reminds me of that. And not only that, the trio cut the song off short. And usually I'd be a little sad about that. But Warren's voice is so jarring that I'm glad they did. Whoever voices him does an excellent job.
Stop talking amongst yourselves, okay?
So yeah, it's no musical masterpiece, but it's not intended to be. Just further making us want to run away
Hold
from
on.
this eagle.
I got an idea.
And for that reason, I gotta place it right down here at the bottom. Number 13, The Road Trip Boogie Woogie.
It looks pretty good to me.
The excitement of the open road. Now take that feeling of travelling with your boys, throw it into a song, and you have The Road Trip Boogie Woogie. That's not what it's called, that's just what I call it, because, well, just listen to it.
We're going fast, we're going forward with such good company.
Despite appearing in what's probably my favourite episode, I will admit that you could take this song out and nothing about the story would really change. But we do get some iconic shots. We see Yellow doing what I do when I message a fine woman. We see Red's string hair, flicking about like he's a top male model. You can tell that they really just had fun with this one. Sometimes you can forget we're watching extremely skilled puppeteering, and I mean that as a compliment. I think of the puppets as real characters. It's done so smoothly. So when Roy, Yellow's father, is yeeted out the window, they don't try and puppeteer him, they just let him be all droopy. It's a reminder of just how much hard work goes into this show to make these puppets feel like real characters. And the whole idea of a group of friends singing a jolly jig whilst driving around in a literal corpse just adds another layer of messed up goodness to the whole thing. It's a really great scene, a good song, but you could argue it's a little out of place to have a chubby friendship song in an episode where every other scene has the trio at odds with one another, especially Red, who's frustrated with this whole life. And again, it's a great song, but this is not Hungry I'm Scared. There's just 12
I didn't see the deer today. I did see some humans, but with you here I've got more test subjects than I'll ever need.
Bruh.
Oh my god. Look at this man's drip. Not just single denim, not double denim, but triple denim. Oh, I can't handle this much denim. It's such an amazing look, and his little strut towards the camera. A true fashion icon that makes me smile every time I see
These bridges are made from natural light that I pump in from the surface. If you rubbed your cheek on one, it would be like standing outside with the sun shining on your face. It would also set your hair on fire, so don't actually do
It's
it.
a very sweet moment as the trio come together, singing in unison, and realizing that they are good pals. And for once, instead of a deranged talking object teaching us a lesson, it's the boys. And the lesson that everyone has a little voice inside their head which puts themselves down. And at this moment, the song feels like a complete resolution for an episode titled Friendship. Even Yellow's imaginary friends join in. All of the truly good characters with no sinister motives on the same page. But of course, this doesn't last, and the song is stopped in its tracks when Yellow breaks their new computer and it devolves into chaos. What really carries this song are Duck and Red's lines. They took me completely off guard, and Duck's delivery is
Hold up! Oh, for fuck's sake.
Have led to many deaths, but I know that's just silly.
And personally,
I got is Gladys brainwash. Gladys come.
darker side of things. And I feel like
Okay, do that again. Oh, wow.
it's in a little lower. Choo Choo number 11, the Transport Song. The Transport Song is one of the more unique songs in the show, completely changing art form from live action puppets to 2D animation. The man who voices Mr. Transport does such a great job of acting like someone who is about to die on the spot.
You can take a few steps with your legs, but you won't get very far.
He's really running on fumes here, and it must be hard to voice act like this whilst also singing this fun, jolly song. He really nails that "God, I hate my job," but let's get on with it. And because this song is 2D animation, they didn't have to worry about building all these different puppets and locations. So it gives them the opportunity to sneak in so many fun little background gags and Easter eggs, like Roy being in the plane that flies past them. And with Mr. Transport being such an old fella, they really lean into that retro style. The visuals have this
Taking that one.
VHS look, where there's bars flickering on the screen and dead pixels which occasionally pop up. It's quite a slow song, a bit less energetic than some of the others on this list.
You're all having such fun for transport.
The kind of track you'd put on when going for an evening stroll. And again, this list
Excellent.
is so hard to
You're
make
a
because
predator,
all these songs
and
are
these
so
tests
great.
are your prey.
But we are
Speaking of
essentially
which,
watching
I was
a man
researching
bust
sharks
out
for an
a
upcoming
concert
test.
on his
Do you
deathbed.
know who else murders people who are only trying to help them? Did you guess sharks? Because that's wrong. The correct answer is nobody. Nobody but you is that pointlessly
The
cool.
Brain Friends theme is a track all about the joy of imaginary friends. which plays as Yellow escapes his harsh reality and dives deep into his own mind.
Good news.
Where nothing
I figured out what to do with all the money I saved recycling your one room full of air. When you die, I'm going to laminate your skeleton and pose you in the lobby. That way future generations can learn from you how not to have your unfortunate bone structure. Perfect. The door's malfunctioning. I guess somebody's going to have to repair that too. No, don't get up. I'll be right back. Don't touch
Oh my god.
Made to look like claymation, but it's barely even noticeable. They did a great job of recreating
up here.
that
I found some
uneven
bird
Thank
eggs
you.
here. Just dropped into the door mechanism. Shut it right down.
The transport song, because it is a different art form, it allows them to get away
That's a
with
crow.
things which are hard to pass
That's probably the
off
bird in it
live
that lays the
action.
eggs.
Like the character
Livid.
Saturday.
Okay, look, the point is, we're going to break out of here, alright? Very soon, I promise, I promise. I just have to figure out how to break us out of here. Here she comes, just keep testing. Remember, you never saw me, never saw me.
Got it.
I went and spoke with the doorman friend. Let's just say he won't be, well, living anymore. Anyway, back to testing.
Associates and travels further and further into his own mind. His surroundings become more simplified. Less things to think about. Less things that can hurt him.
I got it, yeah?
And so,
For
each
this.
layer of his mind, we get a new version of the
Hold
brain
on.
song. The first is a theme for young children. But the second seems aimed towards babies. But the third and final variation is Warren's take on the song after he fully invades the deepest part of Yellow's mind. And instead of calming, it's fear-inducing,
I got it,
sounding
yeah?
like a mix of crying and screaming coming from the darkness. Twice it sets up
Got
a
him.
peaceful song, so that when it is flipped to horror, it's so much more impactful. And I would love to put this one higher, but outside the context of the three different versions, individually I'd say they're not quite as impressive as the ones I've placed.
Yay.
Number 9.
Well done.
You also
In
good
fact, you
right
did
there.
so well. I'm going to note this on your file, in the commendation section.
And even though
Oh,
it
there's
doesn't have
lots
any
of room
relevance to
here.
the story, it's some
Did
great
well.
advice for life.
Enough.
Well, if you're a businessman. I like how when it's originally played, you can barely hear it, as it's coming from Duck's little tape player, and it's just the instrumental.
This next test involves tourists. You remember them, right? They're the pale spherical things that are full of bullets. Oh wait, that's you in 5 seconds. Good luck.
So it feels like I heard an underground beat track, and now it's been released. And I'm like, oh, I heard this song. I heard this song before it was popular, before the artist was even born. It also gives us some nice little clues for teachers to come throughout the rest of the series. It seems like the person who voices Doug just hopped on the mic and did this little freestyle for a bit of fun, and they included it in the show, saying whatever came to mind. It gives it that improvisational feel that Rick and Morty sometimes has. It from the episode, and nothing will change other than a businessman-shaped hole in my heart. But I'm a big fan of setting up a joke which isn't paid off until much later on. It shows patience and that you trust your audience to still get it, which is why it comes in at number 9. Number 8. Today is a big day. And you know, a big day deserves a big day song. And that's exactly what the episode Death gave us. This song is set into motion by Mr. Coffin to help encourage the trio to start getting ready for Doug's funeral. And despite this dark context, it's got a really fun party feel with colourful patterns wriggling around in the background. The kind of patterns you see on wrapping paper.
I'm taking a few.
There's a sing-along element to it, like
There you go.
with the lyrics at the bottom of the screen changing colour as they sing them, as well as a little icon of Doug bouncing between the words, and the enthusiasm of the moves that Yellow busts out. Usually so monotone and down, is throwing some hands up. Excitement is really in the air with this one. It's the kind of thing that I put on and unwillingly.
To maintain a constant testing cycle, I simulate daylight at all hours and add adrenal vapor to your oxygen supply. So you may be confused with the passage of time. The point is, yesterday was your birthday. I thought you'd want to know.
It's mad how easily something can get stuck in your head just by repeating itself a couple of times. I was subconsciously seeing this for a good week after I saw it. My family probably thought I was going insane. And this song does a great job of establishing how easily the characters can get distracted. As towards the end, Yellow and Red start to forget what the big day is all about and focus on making a shepherd's pie instead. It seems like they don't really understand what a funeral or death really is. As seeing as the episode this song plays in is all about the different approaches to death and grief that someone might have, this song helps to set up a more positive outlook that the character of Stain Edwards will bring to the table later on. And that's why it comes in at number 8. Number 7. Ever felt this thing called being lonely? Well boy, there's Don't Hug Me I'm Scared have the song for you. After Doug is banished from the Hellish Twins household without the others, he feels isolated and tries to convince himself.
You know how I'm going to live forever, but you're going to be dead in 16 years? Well, I've been working on a belated birthday present for you. Well, more of a belated birthday medical procedure. Well, technically, it's a medical experiment.
Boy,
What's
it's a look
important
into the
is
effect that isolation and loneliness can have on you. How when you have no one else, you have to resort to your own mind. It's as though he's talking to himself, but in a literal sense.
That jumpsuit you're wearing is stupid. That's not me talking. It's right here in your file. On other people it was fine. But right here a scientist has noted that on you it looks stupid. Well, what does a neck-bearded old engineer know about fashion? He probably... Oh, wait, it's a she. Still, what does she know? Oh wait, it says she has a medical degree in fashion.
Okay.
To comfort themselves because no one else is around to do so. Something shot is perfect.
Bruh!
It stays on dark as the food on the table fades away. This big family
Wait, I got an idea.
slipping away with just the sound of the projector running with whistling.
Fuck you!
This is one of the only solo songs
I'm taking you. I'm taking your children.
This song really does make you sympathize.
I'm taking your children.
So it isn't just a good song, but great character development too. Time for the final 6. First, a quick message from our guest speaker, Mr. Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Subscribe to What a Way to make me the happiest little girl in the world.
Hello?
Thanks, Snoop.
Hello?
6, the Blob Song.
Not mine. Fuck off.
It's probably the most hopeful and wholesome song in the entire show.
I wanna thank you for this opportunity.
From the only character who seems to be truly innocent and pure, Stain Edwards, the Forever Boy. A pink blob of clay, born just minutes before. The song represents childhood wonder, as we see Stain's dream to set off into the universe and explore everything, asking questions about existence and creation. Stain has this level where he's and the instrumentals really help get across this one.
Nope.
Beginning with these upbeat synths.
Now, die!
Going through the list of test subjects in cryogenic storage. I managed to find 2 with your last name. A man and a woman. So that's interesting.
Compared to Yellow and Red's approach, which is denial. And the animation isn't just regular claymation, it's kind of a blend of 2D and 3D. So they mold the clay into a flat
I have a
surface.
surprise waiting for you after this next test. Telling you would spoil the surprise. So I'll just give you a hint. It involves meeting two people you haven't seen in a long time.
This perfectly shows his
Cake.
attitude towards change. He wants nothing to do with these things, and so nothing to do with the
Pow! Pow!
Because usually, Yellow easily gets sucked up into the groovy tunes without a second thought. Look at him dancing away, the little boogie boy. Just pure wonder and imagination. Don't let him keep you down, Stain. Number 5, the family song.
I love my family and they like me!
This song feels like a fever dream about two creepy twins, which it essentially is. Tommy and Lily are the teachers with arguably the worst intentions in the show. Their goal being to split the trio up, giving out old-fashioned and outright false rules you must follow if you want to be a proper family. They act like they're experts, goddamn professors with PhDs in family game time. But really, they're just misguided children. They can't even form a word in the right order. They don't
care.
The song is supposed to go through a word for each letter of family, but ends up spelling nonsense, and the advice is incoherent, going on about...
It says this next test was designed by one of Aperture's Nobel Prize winners. It doesn't say what the prize was for. Well, I know it wasn't for being immune to neurotoxin.
The Jim Beam Big Angus from Carl's Jr. Eat like you mean it.
Is going to be a common trend with most of the songs above this one, but I feel like you could show someone this song and it would give them a good idea of what to expect from the series as a whole. Just like how every episode goes, it starts off normal and fairly tame, but then quickly gets more and more bizarre and unexpected until it slowly devolves into chaos. And it's a great choice of having the twins be separated by the trio, like they're surrounding them, trapping them in. The twins' whole goal is to mislead and divide
I got an idea.
and confuse the trio. And one way of doing this is by throwing so much at them that they can't make out any of it. And that's why this little extra tacked on bit at the end of the chorus is so smart. It's a very weird way to phrase this sentence, tripping you up for a few seconds. I'm probably a little biased because the twins are my favourite characters in the entire show, but I just think that everything about this one clicks, and it's really my kind of humour. They really lean into that blunt straightforwardness that often comes with children. They don't give a damn.
Mommy? Yeah. Potato or sandwich, by the way. That's good, One family.
It's so uncomfortable, but you can't look away. Number 4, Memories. This is a bit of a slower song from Red and Yellow as they reflect on their memories of their dearly departed friend. Sort of a swan song, or should I say duck song. Oh yeah! At first, it appears to have a good message.
Memories help me remember him.
But very quickly, it becomes clear that the trio have reached no good memories of each other, as the only stuff that Yellow can remember is Duck yelling at him, telling him he's too weak for the military. It's a way of showing that we tend to look back on the deceased with rose-tinted glasses, even if they might not deserve it. And something I love is when the line between the song and the episode's natural dialogue when it becomes a vital part of the storytelling. As this song doesn't have an actual ending, it trails off as Yellow's singing turns into him speaking the lyrics to himself with his voice shaking from grief.
Wait a minute.
These lyrics, which are actually good advice, and morbid as he digs Duck's body up, as though he's trying to listen to the advice, but it's not working. Just remembering isn't enough. And this transition from the song to the next scene is so seamless, I really didn't see it coming.
Memories of me going outside.
It's not just a well-crafted and executed song.
Wait,
It's a
goddamn.
well-crafted bit of
Well,
storytelling too. Oh boy, it's time for bronze, silver, and gold. And coming in at number 3 is the work song.
Anything you want to do.
This is the first song that gets jammed out in the show. An upbeat, optimistic track all about how you can be whatever you want to do. With the trio jumping from location to location, dressed up as multiple occupations.
The guy who died so fast on computer.
We get some simple but really creative and colourful backgrounds that help to give off that childlike feel, like you're watching a school play before they're thrown into a dull, grey factory. It's a way of showing how as children we're constantly told we'll get our dream job when we're older if we work hard, when that's not necessarily true. How we're often set up for disappointment, making work
alright, of this one.
And I love how this song is the catalyst.
How the hell we can take that down?
Without it, as Mr. Briefcase tells them,
like, oh come on.
Runs out and abandons them. And so then, as the events of the episode take place in the factory, you almost forget about both him and this song. It goes to the back of your mind. And then, as the plot reaches its boiling point, where everything goes all hectic,
I'm confused.
And the song continues as though it never stopped. It's as though this entire episode takes place as an extended verse in this.
I can't shoot it. I can't grab it. Know why?
So much trust in your audience, having to wait so long for the payoff to the song. A really nice touch is how none of the careers which they discuss or mention are named as their actual profession. For example, instead of naming a therapist, they call it the one who deals with the sad ones. As though the trio will not understand these big boy words, teaching them but not teaching them at the same time. There's a line in this song which sets up Red's attitude perfectly.
I would really prefer to do as little as possible or nothing at all.
Red's journey throughout the show is one of someone who can't escape their situation no matter how hard he tries, making him pretty miserable most of the time, never wanting to engage in the bizarre antics, and because his voice is so monotone,
is that an option?
This line really stands out from the rest of the song. And so just a few minutes into the first episode, you understand what Red's all about. This song just does an amazing job of capturing the essence of the show, with all the misleading lessons. I mean, we even get a short clip of the trio in a classroom. It's a great opening piece of setup for the rest of the show, and that's why it comes in at number 3. Number 2, Electricity.
Okay, I have no idea what we're supposed to do.
It's such an upbeat, fun song. Becky Sloan, who actually co-created the show, voices Electricity.
All I cannot do is up here.
I mean, hell, I'm convinced, along with the trio, that Electricity is pretty damn trendy. There's some really clever wordplay in this song too. That comedy side of the comedy horror really shines here. I think the electric chair joke might be my favourite joke in the entire show.
What about this boring breadboard?
Let's turn it into an electric breadboard.
What about a boring chair?
That could be an electric chair.
The electronic beat is on point. I can see this being played at a rave while I smoke crack rock behind the bins and don't get let in. And it fits the theme too. Electricity, electronic. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's some auto-tune going on here, which I would usually not be a fan of, but again, it works because of the theme of the song. It gives it that bleep bloop 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 voice. Most of the songs in the show have lessons, on purpose of course, that's the whole point. But here, I see no lines, and
I will swear to God, I will find the electric chair and fucking die.
That comes in with a guest feature which ranges so many different emotions. A powerful, powerful piece of music dedicated to his beloved Shredder. I really wasn't expecting a beat switch from this one, and it was a very welcome surprise. A nice break from the rest of the song, which is
like,
very
I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, dang.
This track has, because Elect Tracy goes the extra mile and throws in
I think we stuck in this thing. Hold on.
The guitar has a face. Even they're amazed by this.
There's a bridge and
I can't blame them. Alright! Really? But there can only be
Cube and that one.
What's it gonna be? Number one. I'm not a cube. I love
Not
this
Cube.
song. To me, the visuals are some of the best animation seen throughout the show, with Doug navigating a black void, whilst creatures that look like demons try and attack him, drawn from colourful, glowing lines. It's simple, but just pops off the screen, and you know me, I like my Dougies to pop. The song is a big old metaphor for stress and bad thoughts, and all the nonsense.
Okay, what about here? Nope. The only works of this was a soft area, or this was a bridge.
It's got that stop moping about, making everyone uncomfortable energy to it. And one of my favourite shots is Doug walking a tightrope whilst these creatures snap at him from below. A visualization of this stress and how inescapable it can seem. It's simple visual storytelling at its best. And a lot of the songs which I've talked about are hilarious and great within the context of the show and the story, but I probably wouldn't slap them on at a function unless I've had at least 2 beats. Apart from Tommy's bedtime song, that helps me get to sleep. But even outside the show, the production of this song is really creative and experimental. There's this
I can't see anything.
where the words bleed over each other.
Like, I cannot see that. You cannot see anything.
For a song about how confusing
Oh my god.
the stress can be, this distorted voice, which can be hard to make out at times, perfectly helps to hammer that home, as well as the lyrics.
This is you.
The second half,
Get stroke.
the voice giving Doug advice tells him some of the most confusing dialogue.
Come here, stuck on my dick. I got lotion on my dick. It's time for Garden Library Cube. Okay, can I shoot the cube? Can I cannot shoot the cube. The cube is already you.
That's gonna make me even more stressed. The best advice is simple advice. The stress song also gives us a good glimpse into Doug's character. When a whittle crab tries to pop a pill into his mouth, his face turns annoyed and he swats the pill away. Doug never really seems to put up with any of the untruthful lessons which are shown to the trio.
I thought I was supposed to invent a digital currency. Not this.
And he seems to realise when he's being tricked.
What does that even mean?
And here, he refuses the unhelpful help and cuts the song off when it reaches its most confusing point. It's short but sweet, and if this comes on the tune rotation, it's never getting skipped. It's my personal favourite song. Now, what a musical adventure. We laughed, we cried, but we made it through. Drop your favourite song and why.
Oh, also I sent my cock. Oh my god. What are we supposed to do? Like, what are we supposed to do? What the hell? Like, what? That's done on the... Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on, your horses. I got an idea.
Will be the longest and should be out fairly soon, but it won't be the end of Don't Hug Me I'm Scared on this channel. I've got a few planned which I think will be pretty fun, as well as the YouTube series to look at, which is why I didn't include them on this list, because I would be biased towards the Channel 4 episodes at this point, and the YouTube series is made up of just songs, so I wouldn't really be able to do them justice in this video. Yeah, enough ranting and raving. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the continued support on these videos. I still can't wrap my head around
I
it,
bet you think I forgot about your surprise. I didn't. In fact, we're headed to your surprise right now. After all these years, I'm
Come on!
thinking about it.
What? You make him locked up?
Does family mean to you? Is it your ma?
Mama
Something
and daddy.
Diesel says a little too much, or maybe it's all of these things. Family should be what you make it, and to don't hug me I'm scared. Family is a horrifying mess of monsters
Initiating
and trickery.
surprise
And
in
just
3,
like the show
What?
as a whole, this episode
My cock?
introduces itself as a friendly, colourful
I made it
lesson
all
for
up.
children, but quickly slips fully into that dark.
Bruh.
I thought it would be fun
Oh,
to
come on. If it makes you feel any better, they abandoned you at birth. So I very seriously doubt they'd even want to see you.
Episode 3. Now, in my opinion, episode 3 is the most traditional when it comes to its execution.
Okay, this place. He's stuck in this, so.
And colourful, but this episode wears that aura which is usually so hidden on its sleeve. After the first minute, it never once feels like the characters are safe, even for a second. And I think if the whole show was like this, then it would take away from the kids' puppet show feel. But because it's just one episode, it's nice to see the creators switch things up a little. As always, we open with the classic spinning house intro, and 3 of us jig, and we zoom in to reveal that just like the 2 episodes which have come before, the guys are sitting around the kitchen table. Not really up to much. We're starting to see a routine. Every episode opens in the house and ends in the house. And again, no rushing of them to come greet us in an energetic way like most kids' puppet shows.
Oh, hi! Hi, welcome to Sesame Street!
There we go.
And there's no background music. Instead, the background noise is from the television, as the gang are watching their favourite show, Grolton and Hovris, a parody of British stop-motion staple Wallace and Gromit. But instead of focusing on a man and his dog's obsession with crackers and cheese, this show focuses on a man's mistreatment of his dog, who he has on a pretty short leash. In the real show, Gromit is very much his own character, and is much more competent than his owner, Wallace. It's one of the things that makes the show stand out, this reversal of a traditional dog-human relationship. But in this version, Hovris truly is his pet, and a mistreated one of that.
Die!
Like he doesn't want to be there. We get multiple short glimpses into this show throughout the Help Me Understand. First,
I feel awful about that surprise. Tell you what, let's give your parents a call right now.
paint a picture of an unhinged man.
Wait, what?
Up the dates to visit his brother and smashing a pint in anger. And not giving Hovris any water.
Oh,
The
that's
unbearable heat.
But
Despite
impressive.
having many bottles.
Maybe they worked at the phone company.
I do not care.
Similar to Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, what we expect from the show is
Okay,
fun as hell.
that's.
TV is a felt
That means we can go here.
which used to be reserved for missing persons, is a photo of the trio, a clue that they might not be where they belong. Horace and Gromo comes to a commercial break, and we see an advert for juicy, succulent Rolton's chicken, and their spanking deal of a family bucket of chicken. But you must be a family. If not, you might go to bad boy jail or something, I don't know. And it's our first clue to the theme of this episode. The idea that in order to get the best out of things, you need to be a family. I mean, look at all the benefits it has. Duck comes in and switches it off because TV is for losers, and rushes over to the other two, announcing how he's only found a bag of olives, which look very tasty. I'm getting hungry just looking at them. But, oh no, he can't rip open the bag.
Hey,
Either he's
how's
been
it going?
skipping on the
I
gym,
talked my way
there's
onto the
another
old
issue.
nanobots work crew rebuilding
And
the show.
slam their faces
I know, Jerry. No, I'm on a break, mate. On a break. Ah! Just hang in there for 5 more. What, Jerry? You can't fire me for that. Yes, Jerry. Or maybe your prejudiced work site should have accommodated a nanobot of my size. Thanks for the hate crime, Jer. See you in court, mate. Anyway, look, just hang in there for 5 more chambers.
5 chambers? 5 chambers? Ugh. Fucking Gladys' voice.
Well, you know the old formula. Comedy equals tragedy plus time. And you have been asleep for a while, so I guess it's actually pretty funny when you do the math.
Something looks close to human, but it's just not quite there, leaving you feeling uncomfortable. There are elements to them which are familiar and resemble actual humans, but just as many which are cartoony and fake. For example, their skin looks like regular human skin, and their hair looks like real hair, but their arms are too rigid and straight, and their mouths are a simple black piece of fabric. And so it creates this weird blend of puppet and actual child. And it's not just the uncanny valley effect that makes the twins creepy. It's the simplicity of their facial features, with the mouths only having several positions. You see, people like to figure out what others are thinking, so they subconsciously look at the pupils and facial expressions. And if you can't really see any change in these facial features, you can never really tell when they're happy, angry, or sad from their appearance. So your instinct is to keep watching, never letting your eyes off them, trying to figure out if they're a friend or a threat. This is the case for their eyebrows too. They have none, and eyebrows are possibly the clearest way to show a character's mood. And their voices sound like an adult trying to sound like a child. It gives you this feeling that they're acting more naive and innocent than they really are. It's hard to put
Gotcha.
So here's their voice.
It looks like these guys need our help. Hooray, Lily. There's nothing we like more than to help.
So the first time we see the twins, they are peering through the gang's window, a clear invasion of privacy. And the way they enter the house is a good sign that things aren't quite right with these two. We get a close-up shot of Yellow.
Okay.
The window which the twins are peering in through can be seen behind him in the background. But it's all slightly out of focus. Because they're new characters, outsiders, and could be a threat, your eyes are trained to focus on them. You don't want them to come in, so them being out of focus makes you feel more anxious, as our sight is our strongest sense when it comes to danger.
2.
And then, as the camera starts panning left, we see one of the twins disappear from the window, as though you're trying to look away from them, but they're following your eyes. You can't escape them. And in less than a second before the shot stops,
that means we can get this one if
is now right next to Yellow, uncomfortably close. We hear
no!
And it's physically impossible that any human could travel this distance.
Oh, come on.
Little amount of time. It gives her another
Get this one.
Right out of the
Again. Pow.
The twins
and yay!
They seem small at first, but it's actually very significant. Usually, the trio's teacher is some kind of inanimate object, which is actually alive. A briefcase, a coffin, a tray. And here, this apple was likely supposed to be the teacher, giving the trio a lovely lesson all about eating healthy. But instead, the twins arrive and eat the apple, killing it, and taking its place as the force that guides the trio through this episode. Just like how they peered in through the window at first, it seems like they're outsiders. They have their own separate motives. We just don't know what they are yet. And the twins have that energy which most kids have, where they have no filter and are brutally honest.
It's not their fault, Tommy. Maybe they can't read.
They have no concept of boundaries, let alone manners. Throwing a sandwich on the floor and sitting on the counter. Rude boy. If you look at the concept art for the twins, they were originally going to be conjoined. But I think they made a right choice by making them how they are, because now it makes them feel like they're ganging up on and surrounding the trio. The twins explain to the trio that these snacks they're trying to eat won't open because it's a family pack, silly. And the family example on the packet strangely resembles the twins, as though they hold the key to being able to open them. As, according to these little home invaders...
Hold on, how the hell we can do this?
So they have something which the trio need. But Doug disagrees with this notion.
We are a family, aren't we?
Now, Doug seems fine with what they have.
Sure, we're not technically a family, but we live together and we have the same lawyer, and it works for us.
He's weary.
Quite aware
of these creepy twins, and likely knows that they don't hold the answers to what a family really most aware and intelligent. He doesn't tend to put up with the bizarre stuff going on around him,
Wait, got ya?
not as much as the other two.
This isn't what we're supposed to be doing!
But he and Red get distracted and argue over which
Oh, come on.
that they probably aren't a real family.
I got an idea.
Another word for what they are.
1, 2,
This is where you start to question as a viewer.
3.
Are these guys?
No, 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 no. Ah.
But hey, that's what friends
Oh,
do
fuck
sometimes.
it up.
Are they a family?
Alright, I got it.
They all look like different species. A duck, a yellow boy, a red.
No, that's a wall.
You don't really know what they are, and neither do they. They're just the trio.
Oh my god, I want to do
The
this.
trio of puppets
Hold
forced to
on.
live out this kids show against their will. But that's how we see them from an outside perspective. How do the trio see each other? We do see that Yellow thinks of them all as best buds from this quick line in the Big Day song from the previous episode.
It's a celebration for our best mate.
Now, despite not having as much screen time in this episode, we do get a good glimpse into Red's mindset. One of the first lines Red has is in response to Duck saying what they have works for them. What? He clearly disagrees. Red seems to hate his current situation in the house with the other two, doing the same
Oh, hold on. I need to get that cube over there.
And his outlook on this lifestyle explains why he never wants to do anything. He sees it all as a colourful prison, and in a way, he's right. He's the most unique character out of not just the trio, but the whole show. He appears more human. Unlike everyone else, it really feels like Red doesn't belong here. He even refers to the other two as things.
I knew it. I'm not supposed to be living with these two things.
And so when he's promised the chance of a new family, or more like him, is one of the few times throughout the show where we see him excited
1,
and hopeful.
And we can leave
2,
our pathetic life behind.
3.
And he's willing to ignore any red flags the twins show because he's so focused on reaching his new family, his new life.
I have a family.
This is our first clear look at the character Roy in the show. This is a figure who pops up more in the web series, but he does have some appearances in the show. He's known as a sociopath and commonly stalks the trio, treating his son Yellow horribly. And he is the peeping Tom, who's been staring in at the trio during every single intro. This is, however, where we start to see the strange rules which the twins have for what makes a family.
There we go.
That's just a dad!
Stating how you need
There
a full
we
set.
go.
Uncles,
Hello?
dads, mums, creepy twins, and their views on family are very traditional. They're quite
Oh, fuck you.
and haven't had the chance to grow older and realise that families and relationships aren't black and white. There's no rules really about what makes
Now
them.
it's good.
And Duck challenges the twins.
Why are you two so obsessed with family anyway? It's just a word.
It's not a word!
Which triggers Tommy to a new level. We get a handheld camera close-up of Tommy's annoyed face, and the camera is drawn even
Let's
closer,
go.
uncomfortably into
I thought about our dilemma, and I came up with a solution that I honestly think works out best for one of both of
Duck could
us.
say such a blasphemous thing, then leaps into the air. The puppeteer likely just pulling the strings up randomly. It's this feeling that Tommy is so angry he can't control his movements. But our darling Lily calms him down as he breathes uncontrollably.
Federal regulations require me to warn you that this next test chamber is looking pretty good.
Less than a second.
That's right, the facility is completely operational again.
It's a touchy subject for him. Speaking of the F word, how better for the twins to get across the meaning of family than to sing them a jolly song all about it. So this song follows a common formula that we're used to, where each letter of the title stands for a different word related to that title. Think of the fun song from SpongeBob.
F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. And is for...
Not being funny, mate, but your videos are right? They're just awful. Stop making them. Stop making them right now, alright? Okay? Okay. Love you.
So the twin song begins with F is for friendship. So you assume that it's going to continue along the letters that make up the word family, and it does, at first, with A standing for advice, and we get this amazing imagery of Tommy wearing a nose ring, a true fashion icon. However, as the song progresses, the letters stop following the word family, becoming more random, as well as the meaning behind them.
What the hell am I supposed to do? What I do?
We end up with the word
I think these test chambers look even better than they did before. It was easy, really. You just have to look at things objectively, see what you don't need anymore, and trim out the fat.
With the trio surrounded, cut off on both sides by one of the twins, as though they're closing in on them. A nice touch is that the twins say you can't be a family if you don't
I've got a
have
surprise for you after this next test. Not a fake, tragic surprise like last time. A real surprise with tragic consequences. And real confetti this time. The good stuff. Our last value. Part of me's going to miss it. But at the end of the day, it was... What's going on? Who turned off the lights?
Hey, buddy! I'm speaking in an
Oh, finally!
beyond her range of hearing.
Look, Metal Ball, I can hear you.
Run! I don't need to do the voice. Run!
Thank you!
Run! Come on, let's close the door. Okay, quick recap. We are escaping. Alright, that's what's happening now. We're escaping. So you're doing great. Just keep running. Quick word about the future plans that I've got in store. We're going to shut down the entire production line. Alright, turn off our neurotoxin and then... Yeah, so, for the moment, run!
The thing is, you're almost at the last test. Here it is. Why don't we just do it? Trust me, it's an easier way out than whatever asinine plan your friend.
Nah.
Oh, what? How stupid!
It's like he's floating, and as Lily passes up, she just smacks him on the head for no reason, showing her more sinister side. Their big idea is to
Nah, shut your trash.
how their family works, so they know what to do when they themselves get them. And the boys are really on this. Cheering on, how we see the first of these little title cards throughout the episode, separating the scenes with phrases which sound similar to
I heard gunfire!
and so then comes the Peach Crib, which is probably the most traditional party setting throughout the entire show. It's
Oh no.
standard English home.
Hold on.
It's like everything's been stained with bleach and everything around cover. The same effect that smoking indoors has, as if you could rub dirt on the wall and it would blend right in.
There we go.
You're okay?
Going.
Great, come on!
Dotted around.
This way, this way!
It's not being properly taken care of and hasn't been
Hurry!
Don't care.
There's the exit! We're almost out here! Bring in the whole place back! Hurry! Hurry! This way!
playing his little game off in his own world. They then switch on the telly, which looks damaged. Wyatt's hanging out and being held together by tape. Yet another sign that this family is struggling. It's a first when Duck begins speaking, twins are angry and tell them to shh. They hate any talking over the family film, but only when the others do.
Ah, brilliant! You made it through. Well done. Okay, follow me. We've still got work to do. At least she can't touch us back.
Shut up!
Okay. Okay, don't move.
Wiped from the family photo. The episode is starting to build up this mystery.
Alright, so I've got an idea, but it is bloody dangerous.
Twins want.
Here we go.
Where is the mother? The twins are constantly mentioning her.
Oh, thank you.
They told me that if I ever turned this flashlight on, I would die. They told me that about everything, but I don't even know why they bothered giving me this stuff.
I am a mental nightmare.
It's dark down here. They say that the old caretaker of this place went absolutely crazy. Chopped up his entire staff. Robots. They say at night you can still hear the screams
twins' faces,
of their
and all the
members,
family want to
all
do
of them
is sit in
functionally
silence,
indistinguishable.
watching their film, reflecting
No
on the
memory of the
past.
incident.
Doug suggests
Nobody knows
that
what
the
they
trio talk privately, but Tommy shuts this down with yet
So
another
obviously not.
one of his strange rules, saying how you must be a family to have a family meeting, and as we've established, the trio are not a
Try to
family
jump across.
because of that damn landline. It's a way for the twins to keep them here.
Let's keep moving. The factory entrance must be around here somewhere.
To get away.
Let's just have a bundle meeting.
Shut up.
Wait, careful. Let me light this jump.
Don't care.
As they discuss what kind of meeting they will have, the grandmother we saw attached to the blood
Okay,
bag
this looks dangerous. I'll hold the light steady.
Don't care.
Oh, nicely done.
The twins begin chanting that it's family game time.
This way. Here's interesting.
Join in, standing up.
I almost got a job down here in manufacturing, but guess who the foreman went with? Only an exact duplicate of himself. Ends up giving me the worst possible job, tending to all the smelly humans. Sorry, that's no, I wouldn't say smelly. Just
Shut the fuck up!
Sorry about that. That just slipped out.
Bright colours and pieces. Instead, it's dark brown and made of wood. It could never fold up and looks pretty heavy. When Darling Lily has her go, she crosses the family bridge with ease and is now allowed to mingle with the cousins. See everything
get you out of that
comes
room.
back to family. It's as though
Can
it's
you
all
reach
they
that
can think
wall back
about.
there?
They're obsessed with it.
Okay, there's
And
another
when
wall
Yellow
over here.
congratulates her on her good play. Oh, well done. She runs over to him, panting, leaning him real close. She reaches her hand around his back and onto his shoulder. Except instead of the solid,
I'll tell you,
plastic hands we've
humans,
seen
oh,
until
love
this
them.
point.
Just the way they look, great,
As though
and they're
we've seen of her so far hasn't been
folklore,
her true form.
wonderfully
She's
colourful.
delivering us what some may see as innocent.
Huh?
Really, she's more complex and powerful. She's letting
Right.
Well.
I'm gonna take this rail down the
It's as
back
though
way.
they are using
See you, Bob. Good luck.
resources. They can find land to have fun. Another side that
Eh,
they
eh.
however, not all people use teeth. As in a kind gesture, the twins allow Yellow to use Mother's piece, and it looks like a small statue of a woman that would be used during worship. The twins tell Yellow that
Mother will be home in time for dinner. You'll stay for dinner, won't you?
yet another mention of this mysterious mother figure. Duck is getting fed up and wants to go home, but the twins argue that they're still playing.
Okay.
The sore loser he is. And
Turret
when
redemption
Duck
lines
grabs
active.
Mother's piece from Yellow,
Please do not
Duck
engage with
speeds
turrets
away.
heading towards
The
redemption.
grandmother begins shrieking again, and we get a similar shot as before, back when Tommy lost his mind.
One.
Turret redemption lines are not rise. Please exit the turret redemption line.
Shaking violently
Oh,
from
shit.
side to side, and the twins gasp in horror. You see, Duck broke yet another one of the twins' bizarre family rules. Only Mother could touch Mother's piece. But they were fine with Yellow touching it. Yet another clue.
Turret redemption lines active.
Right in front of
Please
us.
do not
Just
engage with
understand
turrets heading
Yellow,
towards
but it's
redemption.
clear that
Turret
there's some
redemption
kind of
lines are not
connection
rise.
between Yellow
Please exit the
and
turret
missing
redemption
mother.
line.
After Duck's unforgivable act, the twins tell him he needs to leave, which he's fine with.
Fine. Come on, guys. Let's go.
He wants to go home anyway, but the others don't. They're having too much fun. and
Yoink.
they found their family.
It's mine.
The twins tell him only he'd be going as they point their horrifying little plastic fingers at Doug. He's sucked under the table. That doesn't sound right. He's back in
Are you gonna attack me?
so used to. Seeing more cunning than before. They're getting rid of the twins then show Yellow and Red all around the house, ending up in a red family tree that holds photos of the previous family members, their ancestors, and many of the photos have X's on them as though they've been taken out. This room is even darker than the natural estate, with stains on the wall and rodents running about. As the episode progresses and the twins reveal more and more of their personality, the appearance of the house becomes more decrepit and the lighting gets more and more bleak. It turns out that the tree is sentient, and it tells Red not to worry because he can help him find his family, and he has his little sample of his DNA. That doesn't sound right.
I just need a sample of DNA.
His design is very similar to the coffin from episode 2, with eyes that roll around the place. But before Red can even agree,
Are you kidding me?
stabs a massive
Okay, so
so big
hold on.
it looks as though
Oh, hold on.
it begins to drain his blood. His eyes making
fuck.
He's crunk. He's losing consciousness. Treats Red up and down, like he's sizing up a balloon. After all, he is consuming him. One drop of
Oh my god!
Treat's voice becomes deeper and more demonic. Now it's going to hit into Red, and he's at his mercy. He doesn't need to pretend anymore. His friendliness
Yoink.
is fading away. We then fade into Red's mind and get one of the trippiest, most psychedelic animations I've ever seen, with everything wriggling and writhing, transforming into versions of Red, as his strange strands move and pulsate. And now, phase 2 of the twins' plan is complete, because Red has been taken away too, lured away into his own mind, aided by the blood loss caused by the needle, where he's now living out.
Gotcha! Yoink!
Again, Red seems so excited to be away from the other two.
I'm just keep saving of them.
He felt trapped in the trio, but now he's free. But unfortunately, Red is ripped away from his tree. Now that he's away from Yellow and can't influence him, there's no need for
So I'm just keeping your.
and he's dragged down
Hold on.
out of frame and back into the kitchen with Duck. I can't help but feel sorry for him. And now Red has been taken to
Be free!
Yellow, the most naive and impressionable member of the trio.
Ah, brilliant, you made it through. Well done.
As they measure
Shut up!
Follow me, you're gonna love this.
Yellow asks,
Almost there.
Others I came with.
Ta-da! Only the turret control center. Thank you very much. See that scanner right there, right? It's deciding which
Yeah.
turrets to keep and which to toss, and it's using that master turret there as a template. So if we pull out the turret, it'll shut down the whole production line. Right, I'm gonna have to hack the door so that we can get at it. Technical.
Yes.
You'll need to turn around while I do.
Are you seriously?
Already done. Okay, go on, just pull that turret out. Well, that should do it.
Template missing. Continuing from memory.
Oh, it hasn't done it. Right, let's figure out how to stop this turret line. Have you got any ideas? Any ideas?
Nope.
Any ideas? No?
No. Wait a minute.
so we're starting to see the
I got an idea.
so unsure on the
Are you still thinking, or what's happening?
Nana rings the bells.
I'm thinking, but I need the model. The blueprint.
Shrieking has stopped the line of questioning. It kills any momentum the conversation had and allows the twins to shift the focus back towards what they want to discuss.
But they give me the achievement.
Let's just continue contemplating in absolute silence.
Hold on. Maybe.
Oh, have you got an idea?
Template.
Response.
Where is he?
Template.
There he is.
Response.
Yellow persists that he was here with some others, but they insist
Hello.
on rest. And at this point,
Hello. We gonna grab you.
Response.
he's played with them, got himself measured, and is now sleeping in the same room. And it seems like he himself has forgotten his initial reasoning for coming here.
What are you?
Reassurance and confusion has clouded Yellow's mind. And Tommy sings an absolute tune.
Oh no. Where's the turret? Where's the turret? Oh, you kidding me?
Apart from his super
Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
and when he comes to, we get a blurry point of view.
Response.
It's hard to make anything out, so we're left waiting in anticipation of what situation the twins have got Yellow in now. As before,
Sorry, what's
every
going
time
on
he
over
jumped
there?
from scene to
You know, I'm
scene,
actually over
the
here still
activity
thinking
was
really
carried
hard.
out enjoyed by the twins before.
Gotcha.
Just like Yellow, we're in the dark.
Response.
And as he starts to open his eyes, he's tied up with the whole family sat around the dinner table.
Response.
Looking at even Mother's here now, because now Yellow is Mother, and we finally understand the context of the twins' plan.
Oh, brilliant! That's brilliant.
New template accepted.
If we're lucky, she won't find out all her turrets are crap until it's too late. Okay, keep your eye on the turret line. I'm gonna go and hack the door open. Okay, I'm about to start hacking. It's a little bit more complicated than it looked from your side. It should take about 10 minutes. Keep one eye on the door.
And because it
This door's
seems
actually
like they
pretty
are from a
complicated.
more traditional family, No one else has any experience.
I mean, was there any sort of announcement before it opened, like a buzzer or an alarm of some kind? Fair enough. The important thing is it's open. But
Shut up! Not my baby boy. Not my baby boy.
Let's go and take care of that neurotoxin generator as well.
Not my baby boy.
Daughter to work day. That did not end well. And 40 potato batteries. Embarrassing. I mean, I realise they're children, but still, you know, low-hanging fruit and all that. Barely science, really, is it? I'm pretty sure we're going the right way, just to reassure you.
Yeah. I need to bring my baby boy to this.
Absolutely guaranteeing you 100%.
Kevin.
Oh, it's not this way. Okay, let's try this way.
Alright, Kevin. You go first. Oh my god, I feel like Kevin's file. I swear to god.
They then chant at Yellow to make the call.
No!
Over and over, getting louder and louder, slamming their hands on the table.
I knew we were going the right way. This is the
Shut up!
Push it over. Have to apply some cleverness. There's some sort of control room up at the top. So let's
shut up! The fucking voices.
What are you doing? We don't know what that button. Well done. Let's see what.
But his voice is deeper.
Good news. I can use this equipment to shut down the neurotoxin system. It is, however, password protected. Alarm bells. No, don't worry. All right, not a problem for me.
We just assume that this is the father and this is the brother. But no, this is the father and this is the brother. And it made me laugh, but there's also another reason for this.
How to start things. That's always tricky.
And the family had fallen into such a poor state because the mother was the only competent member of this family, with the father being more childlike, off in his own world. This fella can't take care of a family. And after the chanting, Yellow, scared for his life, caves and makes the call.
We've got some electronics.
To feed us. And while he does, I thought you could see him walking past the window. The ceiling then bursts open, a blue light glowing from
wait, goddamn.
Words like password
bucket of chicken is lowered in. We come back to various
you smell neurotoxin? Hold on, the neurotoxin levels are going down. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Now that the food is on the table.
Hold on, something's wrong. Neurotoxin levels up to 50%. No, it's down. Sorry, my mistake.
1, 2, 3.
The grandmother's face opening as though it's been split in half, revealing sharp-like, jagged teeth in rows. And the twins look similar. Their once small, simple mouth design.
And 4.
0%. Shades of red and small teeth random sword. Gets placed down on the table.
Warning. Neurotoxin pressure has reached dangerously unlethal levels.
Bruh. About to blow. About to blow. About to blow. About to blow.
Whee! Take us right to her. I can't believe I'm finally doing this. Woo! I knew this would be fun. It's not fun at all. I believed them. I don't have to fool to myself. Oh, and I'm loving this. Way over time.
At least the better one than what we've seen today. They hang out because
this place is huge, and we're in the top layer. It goes down for miles. All sealed off years ago, of course. We should be getting close. Oh, I can't wait to see the look on her face. No neurotoxin, no turrets. She'll never know what hit her. Hold on, because I might not have.
Oh my god, I don't care. Oh, thank you.
Get to her. I'll find you.
First, we had jobs, which started out.
Man, fuck off.
Anything before the trio were trapped in an assembly line of recycled phrases, and unfair treatment. And then we had death, where it seemed like Doug would be
Yoink.
to a better place, but instead ended up rotting underground. And now we have family, where we started off being shown that the twins were the example of a real family, but in the end, they suffered a lot from their family. Something which is supposed to account for you has consumed them. This episode is probably one of my favourites. It does an incredible job of building tension.
I honestly, truly didn't after that.
Everything.
In fact, I devised a much more elaborate trap further ahead.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
If I'd known you let yourself get captured this easily.
Hey, yo, chill.
From the ceiling.
Nope.
Well, it was nice catching up. Let's get to business. I hope you brought something stronger than a portal gun this time. Otherwise, I'm afraid you're about to become the immediate past president of the Being Alive.
Oh, maybe then.
Seriously, though. Goodbye.
More. No, my terrors! Oh no, I forgot.
You were busy back there.
More.
I suppose we could just sit in this room and glare at each other until somebody drops dead. But I
do not care.
Idea. It's your old friend, deadly neurotoxin. If I were you, I'd take a deep breath.
I can have a fresh air with the deadly toxins. Oh no, no you again, annoying ass!
Warning, Central Core is 80% corrupt.
That's funny. I don't feel
Alternate core detected.
Oh, that's me they're talking about!
To initiate a core transfer, please deposit substitute core in receptacle.
Core transfer. Oh, you are kidding me.
Shut the fuck up, you dumbass bitch!
Are you ready to
Man, shut up!
Yes!
Corrupted core.
Yes!
The procedure.
No.
Oh, yes she is.
No.
Man, shut your goofy ass up!
Transfer procedure cannot continue.
Yes.
Unless a stalemate associate is present to press the stalemate resolution button.
Hold the hand, leave me in. Go press it.
Don't do it.
Yes, do it.
Don't press that button. You don't
Hold
know
on.
what you're doing.
I think she's...
Not so fast. Think about this. You need to be a trained stalemate associate to press that button. You're unqualified.
So listen, it is true that you don't have to...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Press that button so that she won't kill us.
Impersonating a stalemate associate. I just added that to the list. It's a list I made of all the things you've done. Well, it's a list that I am making, because you're still doing things right now, even though I'm telling you to stop. Stop, by the way.
Okay, that's probably correct, but where it's incorrect is that while I've been stalling you, we just pressed the button. Use the moment of confusion I've just created to press the button. Have I, I don't know if I've ever taken the time to do this, but have I ever told you the qualities that I love most in you? In order, number one, resolving things. I love the way you resolve things, particularly disputes. And number one, also
Oh, nice, you just
pushing. Two things I love about you.
tight pussy.
And the ability to resolve things, particularly disputes. First thing I thought about you.
I got it.
There's a lady who could resolve any button-based dispute.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute, I got him.
Resolution advisor in need of a button. Sorry to interject again, but if you do not push the button, the deadly neurotoxin emitters will come back.
We know, dumbass! We know! Damn!
I'm not trying to rush you, just throwing that out there for leisurely digestion.
I'm not gonna make you rush me. Damn! I'm trying. With this stupid ass Gladys.
You should definitely press that button.
I will kill myself. Oh my god. What you got, him? Here we go. Hold on. I just gave you one message in one, say. Funny meme sound effect. I'm just saying, Gladys. Mom, Dad, get the. Can you? You can hold on. I need to shut the door fire, right? Go, please. Please, I swear to God. I don't know, I need to find a good one. And I don't know, I got That's so dumb, even if that made.
This one's for the prize?
Intenso.
No. Cool. Definitely.
I just want my dog meme.
I just want my dog.
I just want my dog. I just want my dog. I just want my dog. I just want my dog. I just want my dog. I just want my dog.
Believe me, it's
I just want my dog.
You're just saying that, aren't you? You're just, no, you're not. You are. It's gonna hurt.
I just want my dog.
I just want my dog. I just want my dog. I just want my dog. I just want my dog. I just want my dog.
Oh my God.
We did it! I'm in control of the whole facility now. Whoa! Would you look at this? Not too bad, eh? Giant robot, massive. It's not just me, right? I am bloody massive, aren't I? Oh, right, yeah, the escape lift. I'll call it now. There we go. Lift cool.
Thank you.
How small you are down there. I can barely see you. Let me tell you, I knew it was going to be cool to be in charge of everything. But, wow, this is cool. And check this out. I'm a bloody genius now.
Estás usando este software de traducción de forma incorrecta. Por favor, consulte el manual.
I don't even know what I just said, but I can find out. Yes, sorry, keep forgetting. This body's amazing, seriously. I can't get over how small you are, but I'm huge. Actually, why do we have to...
What the fuck?
Do you have any idea how good this feels? I did this. Tiny little Wheatley did this.
Don't care.
She did all the work.
Oh, really? That's what the two of you think, is it? Well, maybe it's time I did something then.
No.
And don't think I'm not
Bye.
you too, lady. You know what you are?
I'm a boy, by the way.
I've done nothing but sacrifice to get us here. And what have you sacrificed? Nothing. Zero. All you've done is boss me around. Well, now who's the boss? Who's the boss?
Because you're annoying as fuck. Because you're annoying. Potato. 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 No. Put my dick to it. No.
What?
You're an idiot. You're an idiot, by the way.
No, not listening, not listening.
It was your voice.
No, you're lying, you're lying.
You're the tumor. You're not just a regular moron. You're designed to be a moron.
I am not a moron!
Yes, you are. You're a moron they built to make me an idiot.
Bruh.
Well, how about now? Now who's a moron? Could a moron hunt you into this pit? Ah! Could a moron do that?
Oh my God. You're an idiot!
How are you holding up? Because I'm a potato.
The potato! Damn! no. Ow. My cock. It's the noise. Take it, man. Take it, man. Come here, little stroke on my dick. Gonna burn your ass down with the lemons.
Alright, so to kick things off here, something that some of you might not know yet if you didn't play any of the pre-release demo builds of this game, is that originally there was going to be a few more playable characters in Pizza Tower than Peppino and Gustavo for those 2 levels or whatever. And these playable characters are actually 3 of the bosses that you encounter in the game, with each of them being referenced by a single letter in the game's code.
Big vote.
Vigilante, N for the noise, and Pepperman is referenced as M, actually, since V is already taken by Peppino. What's awesome though is that by fiddling around with the game's coding, remnants of these playable characters can actually be reinstated into the game. You can essentially swap Peppino's animations for the corresponding ones for each other playable character, and you can also basically re-implement their moveset and characteristics too. And out of all the characters that have leftover functionality, Pepperman is the most limited. Now apparently he was only planned to have been playable in the Refrigerator, Refrigerador, Freezerator level, and what remains of his moveset is really basic. He can dash left and right, ground pound, as well as taunt, but only mid-air for some reason. So yeah, his moveset is
there we go.
Limited, making it pretty difficult to play in this current state. Pepperman is also
1, 2.
released to the public. And next is the Vigilante, who would have actually been able to use his gun against enemies instead of a dash attack like Peppino. Now, one interesting quirk about the Vigilante, his speed caps out at Mach 3, and as such, he isn't able to break through the metal blocks seen in the game. To combat this, he is able to have been able to use his dynamite attack that's seen in the boss fight to break these. However, this move was coded for using a 4th button or key input, which was removed from the game, and as such, this move can't really be used, so any stages with metal blocks aren't exactly playable with the Vigilante. Furthermore, he also can't use any of Peppino's transformations, so any stages that
Oh, nice.
also a wash.
Shit.
The Vigilante is also unique from the rest of the game.
Toxic shit.
And much prefer there to not be a health system. And finally, the last of the unused playable characters is the Noise. Now, whereas Pepperman is the least developed playable character, the Noise is basically the opposite, as he was playable in the game for years during its development demos up until around mid-2022. Although when re-implemented into the game now, his moveset matches Peppino for reasons we'll get to in a bit. In earlier points in developing this game, he actually had his own unique moveset, including using a jetpack, being able to bounce around using his pogo stick, and more. Although it's not 100% clear why all of these characters were only kept as bosses and their playable aspects removed, the main developer of the game, McPig, had stated that he didn't really want half of the playable characters to be restricted. I assume in terms of their movesets, so I guess in order to keep the level experience uniform across the board, the decision to keep the baseline moveset was chosen. And this philosophy was especially seen in how the moveset of the Noise was changed. I alluded to it a bit earlier, but probably the main reason the moveset change is that there's actually a whole two-player co-op mode for the game that was scrapped. In this multiplayer mode, players could either help each other out to clear a stage, or grief each other if they were feeling a bit more competitive, with each player striving to get a higher score. And yeah, in order for both players to be on even playing ground, with neither having any advantages or disadvantages, a decision to create moveset parity, regardless of which character was chosen, was made, and as such, after going through several changes and revisions, ultimately, the Noise had his moveset altered to just be a copy of Peppino's. Now, I think the multiplayer aspects to this game would be awesome, so I'm really hoping that one day something like this does get implemented, but I'm sure based on how it might be tough to implement unless each player would have their own screen. Interestingly enough, though, there are still some remnants of this mode left in the game, but unfortunately they aren't exactly completely from it, in fact. This mode isn't the only mode that didn't make it into the final game, as there's also the hard mode for Pizza Tower that was scrapped. And unlike the co-op mode we just went over, this hard mode is now much more complete, and in fact, is actually really easy to re-enable in the game to boot. Basically, all you have to do is debug command in the Steam launch options, press F5 to open the command window in game, and then simply type in hard mode true, and that's it. The hard mode is now re-enabled. Anyways, as you've been seeing, the main gimmick that hard mode would enable is the introduction of another scrapped character, Snick EXE, who is definitely not a parody of anything else. Now, Snick EXE actually wasn't intended to be the main obstacle in this mode, and he's only slapped in here as a placeholder for the intended enemy that was to be known as the Pizzamancer. But anyways, in this hard mode, as it's seen here, Snick will basically be an extra
personally oversee every one of them, so these pre-recorded messages will cover any questions you might have and respond to any incidents that may occur in the course of your science adventure. Your test assignment will vary depending on the manner in which you have bent the world to your will. Those of you helping us test the repulsion gel today, just follow the blue line on the floor. Those of you who volunteered to be injected with praying mantis DNA, I've got some good news and some bad news. Bad news is we're postponing those tests indefinitely. Good news is we've got a much better test for you, fighting an army of mantis men. Pick up a rifle and follow the yellow line. You'll know when the test starts.
Deeper into it. Although it did make its way into this hard mode, as we discussed, this actually wasn't the original way it was intended to work. Instead of being tied to Snick throwing down enemies, it was instead once a big part in a level's progression, as you would increase the heat meter, the more enemies that you would defeat. And as the meter increased, different effects would be triggered. Enemies would start to move faster, and then ultimately there would have been
if you've cut yourself at all in the course of these tests, you might, if you need to go to the bathroom after this next series of tests, please let a test associate know, because in all likelihood, whatever comes out of you is going to be cold. Only temporary, so do not worry. If it persists for a week, though, start worrying and come see us, because that's not supposed to happen.
Feelings around this heat meter were apparently pretty divided in the community, with some fans not really feeling it was a good addition, and as such, over time, the mechanic of introducing exclusive moves was cut, and the heat meter would only allow players to score, until ultimately the mechanic was removed. Well, at least mostly, as in the final release of the game, the Tribe Cheese, Pizza Slug, and Shrimp Thug enemies actually have their filled heat meter attacks enabled by default. So in a turn of events, their normal intended attacks are the ones that go on you. And there are actually even more remnants from this, as several otherwise unused graphics for the heat meter are left over in the game too. These
Wait a
include the meter
minute.
and internal red bar, a color palette showing how the colors would change as the temperature increased from cool to hot, as well as a TV graphic for Peppino for once he had reached a certain heat level, which can actually still be loaded into the game, and this is also still referenced in the game's coding. And this actually isn't the first iteration of the heat meter either, as there are even earlier assets for it left over in the game too. The first known version was seen like how it is left over in the hard mode, a dial with 4 pizza faces with expressions ranging from happy all the way to absolutely enraged. We can also see that there were once plans to mirror the pizza faces, and there were also ideas for different effects on the meter itself too. Another iteration for this heat meter idea was instead named Style Bar in the game's code, and for
Joe.
this, bubbles would have appeared above Peppino's face
Bounty
in the
Joe.
display, from mild to antsy to mad, and then finally the maximum level, crazy, where at this point some enemies' graphics would switch to using a different color palette, like the pepperoni goblins turning purple. There were also graphics of a meter that would slowly drain if you waited around long enough without doing anything to extend your combos. And furthermore, there are also several additional graphics for combos associated with different score multiplier mechanics that were apparently a predecessor to the heat meter. The first of these iterations was implemented in late April 2019, and although these haven't been seen in any of the currently publicly accessible pre-release builds of the game, this mechanic would have had these graphics in the middle of the screen and would describe the currently achieved multiplier. Cheesy would be a basic 1x multiplier, mildly spicy would give 2 points, then there's stupid, not bad, but not hot dog, and finally, of course, hot dog, which would offer a whopping 16 points for every enemy defeated or topping collected. Then the second revision of this combo meter mechanic was implemented in early May of 2019 and would have featured several graphics that would have appeared under the TV heads-up display graphic, and each multiplier would have resulted
They say great science is built on the shoulders of giants. Not here. At Aperture, we do all our science from scratch. No hand-holding.
It seems like there were a bunch of really cool ideas for this meter, but it looks like to keep things simple, the more basic combo meter that we got is what the developers have settled on keeping as the method of increasing score for defeating enemies.
Good, right?
Oh god, my eyes.
This first test involves something the lab boys call repulsion gel. You're not part of
Repulsion
the
gel?
by the way. You get the gel. Last poor son of a gun got blue paint. All joking aside, that did happen. Broke every bone in his leg. Tragic, but informative. Or so I'm told.
Release of the game. And here I first want to start with some of the most basic looking graphics, as they're basically just concept sketches. And these are for several scrapped attacks as well as phases for the final boss in the game, Pizza Head. For starters, there are some early sketches of Pizza Head looking down, extending his arm to grab something beneath the level, and then grabbing a spicy picture of himself before shoving it back down as he does in his battle. And then there's also this sketch of him throwing something. This was actually seen as part of an attack where Pizza Head would literally throw Peppino's face at Peppino.
The lab boys just informed me that I should not have mentioned the control group. They're telling me I ought to stop making these pre-recorded messages. That gave me an idea. Make more pre-recorded messages. I pay the bills here, I can talk about the control group all damn day.
As he ultimately ended up. And next, there's also this early sketch of Pizza Head jumping out of Pizza Face instead of just getting launched upwards as is seen in the final game. Oh, and we're just getting started here, as there are a whole bunch more early sketch graphics of Pizza Lad over here. Next are several sketches of some more unused attacks for the fight. These include...
Oh shit, I forgot!
Tier get up, him getting ready to throw the Peppino face attack we mentioned earlier. There's actually a whole animation left over of Pizza Head opening up a present, which would have resulted in a backwards boxing glove spring attack. There's a scrapped attack in which Pizza Head would carry and drop a large bomb before then running away from it. And then there's also some sort of scrapped attack where he would have pulled up a derpy looking rat and just eat it. Yeah. Now lastly for these sketches, sketches, there are several that appear to reveal a third phase in the fight against Pizza Head that was originally, the fight was going to consist of the gauntlet of fighting previous bosses in the game, and instead there would have been a final phase where Pizza Head would become enraged and would have had some new moves to utilize. These include a dash punch or dash face slam to the ground move, him screaming at Peppino, a spinning punch and spinning kick attack,
Get out.
giant arm, as well as a kick where his leg would seemingly extend a great distance.
For this next test, we put
Interestingly
nanoparticles in the
enough, as
gel.
seen in one of the
In
pre-release
layman's
builds
terms,
of the
that's
game,
a
where
billion little
using
gizmos
sketches
that are
of
going to
Pizza
travel
Head
into your
was
bloodstream
actually
and pump
implemented,
experimental
although
genes and
only
RNA
scrapped
molecules
ways to
and so
attack,
forth into your
only the
tumor.
extendo leg
Now,
was
maybe you don't
actually
have any
never
tumor.
programmed.
Well, don't worry.
Now,
You
apparently,
just have a holy
according to
hair
the
lobby
devs, they
and
wanted to
work
keep
very
Pizza Head's image as being a goofy clown and not a crazed fella. So yeah, I guess they decided to remove this third phase and slipped in refighting the prior bosses instead. I think it's too bad because I felt like the final phase of fighting Pizza Head was a bit underwhelming. Now next up, moving away from the concept sketches, the next graphics all still look quite finished. First, there are several placeholder graphics that are left over from an old Patreon exclusive demo of the game. Since at the time there weren't proper graphics for displaying a rank or level name, these placeholders were implemented to display the level name, a title card graphic showing the build version and some new additions, here being the wall climbing as well as the fire ass transformation, as well as a placeholder graphic for the lack of score and rank for a level. Considering how far away this demo was from the release of the game, it's pretty wild to see that these are still kicking around in the game's files. And next up, there are several black and white placeholder sprites of Peppino as well as the noise meant for the cutscene where the balloon slams into the background during the transition to the second phase of the fight. Here we can see the duo looking worried, screaming, and then once again looking, quite concerned. Moving on, there are 4 early versions of the card scene at the fast food saloon level, as well as several graphics for the heads-up display that went unused, including graphics that would actually show your speed level, a spot that would indicate if you had a inventory, a scrapped reload timer that would have appeared as a pizza and would indicate how long you had to wait in between shotgun blasts, as well as a graphic for him completing, and there's also a scrapped monitor, which would have seemingly indicated that you had a backup shotgun. And this is actually part of a scrap mechanic that was seen in the Sage 2019 build of Pizza Tower, where back then you still had to purchase shotguns for Peppino using pizza coins, and if you bought 2 of them, you would have a backup on hand if you lost the first shotgun.
The dirty water.
And lastly, there are 2 more bouncing HUD graphics that were scrapped. A bullet, that's a remnant from earlier plans where Peppino always had a gun that could hold up to 3 bullets, as well as this jerry can that was part of a scrapped pizza cutter chainsaw attack, which was never implemented in any playable form, but was actually something that dates back all the way to some of the earliest stages of this game's development, when the game was still known as Pizza Massacre. And as I'll mention later on, despite never being properly implemented in any of the publicly available demo builds, jerry cans were seen as an obtainable item in a later demo, but they still served no purpose there. Now next, there are a plethora of early and unused animations for the heads of the Vigilante, the Noise, as well as Peppino. Similar to how the monitor heads-up display system works for Peppino in the final game, these are a leftover from earlier demo builds where just the head of the character you were playing as would appear on screen and would change depending on what occurs in gameplay. For the Vigilante, he's got an idle animation, one
here's some
for
advice
taking
the lab
damage,
boys
one
gave me.
for healing by
Do
collecting
not
toppings
get
as we
covered in the
went over
repulsion
earlier,
gel.
one
We
for
haven't
speeding
entirely
up,
nailed
taking
down
out
what element it
enemies,
is
as
yet,
well as
but
one
I'll
meant
tell
to
you
be
this,
seen during
it's a
pizza
lively
time.
one, and it
Then
does
for the
not
Noise,
like the
I
human
guess being
skeleton.
more of a fleshed out playable character at the time.
Oh.
A lot more of these, and there's everything from idle to getting a light transformation, running at Mach 1, 2, 3, and 4, one for holding a bomb and getting blasted by one, taking damage, unlocking a door, ground pounding.
All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way. Keeps out the rats. Let us know if you feel a shortness of breath, a persistent dry cough, or your heart stopping, because that's not part of the test. That's asbestos. Good news is the lab boys say the symptoms of asbestos poisoning show a median latency of 44.6 years. So if you're 30 or older, you're laughing. Worst case scenario, you miss out on a few rounds of
additionally, he also has one for roaming as well.
By 3 centuries. I punched those numbers into my calculator.
Although Peppino still had a default white shirt and hat in earlier builds, interestingly in these, as you can see, he's seen in his yellow attire. Now this yellow coloring is apparently used as to not conflict with any other color palettes that Peppino can color his clothes, and since Peppino's eyes and teeth use white, his regular white attire had to be changed to something else.
Wait.
Then also left over in the game are graphics for this old pause screen, which would have featured only 3 options, each with a different Peppino facial expression.
I like your style. You make up your own rules,
as well as returning back to the
title
title screen.
Just for being
Next
a
up,
wheelchair.
Captain Pizza Goblin, as seen in the Crust Cove stage, originally had a much different design. He looked much more human-like and had a red tricorn hat instead of the black skull one that the final design uses. He would yell fire, seemingly after every shot, which I could see getting annoying. And then lastly, there's also this unused ending animation for when a player would clear the section that he's seen in, where his own cannon would explode on him, which I think is much better than the animation that was used in the final cut. Next up, we got a pair of unused animations for the old design of Pillar John. Now, you might have seen this old design if you found the old tower secret in the first floor of the game. I think these little secrets are awesome as they show off a bunch of and unused concepts, most of which we'll dive into a potential future video, but for now, our focus is on this guy. The first leftover unused animation for Mr. Pillar here is one in which he is seen opening his mouth. And this is actually from an also scrapped mechanic in which before bashing him to activate pizza time was even a thing and pizza toppings were to be used for progressing to the floor boss, the player would have instead had to feed John Pillar all 5 toppings within a level to proceed. And after feeding him all 5 toppings, he would give the player a nice grin, and this is also an animation that's still left over in the final game too. And while on the topic of scrapped mechanics, next up we have this screen that would have been used after beating the game. Instead of being given a completion rank, which you could improve by going back and finding more secrets and such, originally, once you had beaten the game, as you see in this graphic, your judgment would have been final, and you couldn't do anything to improve your judgment other than to delete the save or just start another one. I think this would have been a bit excessive and probably would have turned off many players from trying again, so I'm glad this change was made. And now, last up for this video, there are several sprites of either early versions of Peppino's transformations or some that
there you go.
There's a slight chance the calcium could harden and vitrify your frontal lobe. Anyway, don't stress yourself thinking about it. I'm serious. Visualizing the scenario while under stress actually triggers the reaction.
For those that did end up getting implemented, we got...
What's on your mind? What you gonna do next? This is what we do.
Our next guest has spent the better part of a decade developing some of the most critically acclaimed franchises, and we're really pleased to welcome to the stage for the...
Did you notice that there's an IV drip on the
Now, if you're part of control group Kepler-7, we implanted a tiny microchip about the size of a postcard into your skull. Most likely your parents even there.
What
Let us know, because that means it's about to hit 500 degrees, so we're going to need to go ahead and get that out of you pretty fast.
Let's play Portal. Again, on March 1st, 2010, Portal got an update to which the only thing listed in the patch notes was changed radio transmission frequency to comply with federal and state spectrum management regulations, which in reality added the transmission received achievement, which placed these radios around the game, all playing a more jazzy version of the songs performed at the end of the first game, Still Alive.
I'm telling them, keep your pants on. Alright, this next test may involve trace amounts of time travel. So, word of advice, if you meet yourself on the testing track, don't make eye contact. Lab boys tell me that'll wipe out time. Entirely. Forward and backward. So, do both of yourselves a favor and just let that handsome devil go about his business.
most difficult puzzle in the game, Chamber 1's radio is on top of a security camera on the first right. This time you have to solve the puzzle first and then bring the radio to the open door, which yields gibberish. Gotta be honest, most of the transmissions are gibberish. While we're achievement hunting, in Chamber 2 we can grab the blue portal gun and start tearing down cameras. And this is a very famous achievement. Tearing down all the cameras is one of the easiest to get in the game if you know what you're looking for. But what most people don't know is that there's a secret audio line in the final chamber that's supposed to play once you shoot down your final camera. So it's not really a secret as much as it is broken. It's supposed to play after knocking down all 33 cameras, but the GLaDOS voice line you're supposed to hear only plays if you shoot down all the cameras in the game when no other dialogue is playing. The reason most players haven't heard this line is actually right here at the beginning. You're given the portal gun and your first instinct is to shoot the camera right in front of you, but GLaDOS starts yapping as soon as you grab it. For this chamber, I waited patiently as the guy who threw a tantrum over video game cutscenes can. Waiting for GLaDOS to stop speaking, shoot down the camera, then backtrack to 2 cameras found earlier in the test chamber. While I'm at it, I can grab the hidden radio on this skinny ledge and then take it to the spot where I grab the blue portal gun to hear gibberish. Cool. After solving Chamber 2, we return to the gap, but have to satiate our camera bloodlust long enough for GLaDOS to stop telling us about the gap. I want to shoot this camera so bad. Shoot the camera across the gap, then pass through and shoot the other camera across the other gap. You know, they really should have called this place the Gaps, plural. Who is they? The radio will fall with the second camera, and this time you have to shoot a portal up on this corner wall and lead the radio through to get a transmission. And you'll never guess this.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Gibberish. Test Chamber 4 is actually quite small, so after listening to GLaDOS again, you could shoot the camera right next to the sign and then move a little to shoot the camera across the room. The radio is at the bottom of this pit with the cube, and there's only so many spots in this chamber, so you'll eventually figure out it's by the door, and hear actual Morse code again. Solve the chamber and move on. Despite saying that the test subject will not be monitored in the next chamber, there are still cameras watching you. There's 2 in the main room almost right next to each other, and then you just solve the puzzle like normal. However, once the door opens, you'll clock the radio on the other side waiting for you. What you have to do here is shoot a portal over to it, because if you walk towards its siren call, you'll be trapped as the door closes behind you. And then you'll never be able to hear more gibberish at the bottom of this small cube pit. The final camera is past the door I just mentioned, but be careful not to shoot it as GLaDOS begins her victory speech. Chamber 6 has no cameras, but it does have a radio jammed above the pellet shooter. It took me a couple attempts and adjustments, but I eventually grabbed it and took it over to the platform to be serenaded with more garbled noise. Chamber 7 has no cameras like the previous, and for this radio you have to shoot a portal in these little gaps between the stairway, which I didn't even know you could do. I took it over to the corner platform, but then dropped it before I could tell if it was actually Morse code or not. Chamber 8! On my first attempt, after taking forever to grab the radio, I tried to shoot a portal while holding it and accidentally threw the radio into the toxic sludge. I really hope resetting doesn't mess up my camera run. On the second attempt, I took it back to the beginning to hear more gibberish. I'm glad I went through all that. Dude, at Chamber 9, dude, if you remember last time, I pointed out this square hole that almost looks like you could fit the cube through, but you can't. This couldn't have been the original intention because these radios were added later, but the name of this game is setting up a portal next to the hole and using a cube to push the radio down without accidentally destroying the radio, but cubes are free game. And trust me, I destroyed a lot of cubes trying this. Eventually I just figured you could jump up and grab it. Solving the puzzle will open the door so that you can hear even more noises. That one wasn't even the hardest one. You have to wait until the end of the momentum speech to shoot the first camera in Test Chamber 10. The radio here is placed on one of the walls jutting out. You have to launch yourself and then jump back across to grab it.
A bunch of eggheads who wouldn't recognize the thrill of danger that walked up and snapped their little pink bras. That sounds like protection. They didn't fly into space, storm a beach, or bring back the gold. No, sir, we did. You and me against the world, son. I like your
What you're not supposed to do is drop it several times all the way to the hotspot. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know how I got this one, but it's troubled anyway, so it doesn't matter. Chamber 11, you have to wait through another classic GLaDOS zinger before turning around and shooting the camera behind you. I was so caught up in the awe of the radio being precariously placed in front of this door and the memories of this orange portal room that I forgot I was standing in an orange portal, and I fell into the goo. Second attempt, wait through the dialogue again, shoot the camera again, don't die this time, that's very important. Place a blue portal next to the door and wait for the orange to come to you and grab the radio. Redirect this energy pellet to solve the puzzle, and then again you bring the radio to the previous resting place of the orange portal gun. Maybe you get a little too ahead of yourself and jump to your death and have to do that all again. Who's to say? This is your run, not mine. The next chamber, you gotta fling yourself to the top and then drop down. And the radio will be hidden underneath on the middle part, shutting out. I promise I didn't choose the rightmost pole to show you.
Why not marry safe science you love so much? In fact, why not invent a special safety door that won't hit you on the bottom way out because you are fired? Now you test subject, you're doing fine. Yes, you, Box, you're stopped. Out the front door. Parking lot, car, goodbye.
Got an actual Morse code message again. Been a while since we got that. The secrets of Chamber 13 can be finished relatively quickly. I mean, after she's done yelling at us again, shoot the first camera, and then go outside, shoot the second camera, and then use the portal on the ceiling to grab the radio.
Oh my god. What?
The simple fact that you're standing here listening to me means you've made a glorious contribution to science. As founder and CEO of Aperture Science, I thank you for your participation and hope we can count on you for another round of tests. We're not going to release this stuff in a while until it's good and damn ready, so as long as you keep yourself in top physical form, there will always be a limo waiting for you.
I suppose I've never experienced this because I've never felt compelled to move this cube. Are we doing something? I see the radio up on the wall, and the only place to put portals near it are on the floor, so I need to use momentum. After running around trying to find a spot, I eventually figure I can use the raised platform that activated for solving the puzzle. But even this took me so many attempts. I had to jump off the moving platform.
Wait, hold on.
To turn ever so
Dot
slightly
dot.
to grab the radio. Ironically, I probably could have used the cube for this, but again, something about this room compels me to leave the cube here and never move it. After multiple attempts, I celebrated victory by bringing the radio to the frequency spot, but jumped too much and fell into the goo and died before I could hear the frequency. I really hope that one wasn't Morse code. Chamber 15 has another early camera, and as soon as I enter the first part of the test, I can hear the radio. Mine got a little stuck in the tube, so it took me a couple tries, but after getting it, you just have to bring it back to the elevator. That was surprisingly easy. You gotta expect more jank from this game. You know, it's not without it. This is my audition for a very popular video game-based YouTube channel, though, by the way. Did you know that the whole left side of this fizzler does not work properly? Not only can you shoot portals through it, but even walking through it doesn't erase them. And neither of these things are correct. I solve the second part and then hop on the raising
What the hell?
camera before realizing I cannot backtrack because the platforms won't go back down. I reloaded the save, and lo and behold, I did miss a camera. Hopefully the reset doesn't ruin my camera dialogue hunt either. As long as I don't do that exact same thing again. Hey, did you know with the strategically placed jump you could actually get inside the platform catcher? I got stuck inside and I had to reset. Did you also know that if you get too close to a wall while standing on a moving platform, the platform will actually move under you while you stay still, and then you'll fall into the goo and die. Reset. The next big room is still a part of the test chamber, but despite that, it actually has one more camera and another radio. Remember when I said they would get harder? You have to get up in these glass rooms, shoot a portal in each to hit the buttons within the same interval to open up the door to the pellet receiver, then place two portals below you and use momentum to jump down and get into the now open crevice, grab the radio, and then also quickly escape before the door closes and you trap yourself, thus having to reset. Guess how many attempts this took me? It took me once. Stress is a powerful drug, but then you can just take it up the elevator that activates when solving the puzzle, and here's some Morse code. Chamber 16. Turrets. 5. Take down 2 turrets, take down 3 cameras, come across the first of many
What the fuck?
secret
Wait, what?
Unsure of who or what could have made these. Hey, did you know that this radio actually spawns a little bit above the cube, so if you only move the cube beneath it, it'll float. Or it will if you don't move it. I'm not capturing this footage again. I've played this game so many times. Take the radio back to the hidden den, and while we don't hear anything...
Finally. I hope we have freedom.
Greetings, friend. I'm Cave Johnson, CEO of Aperture Science. You might know us as a vital participant in the 1968 Senate hearings on missing astronauts. And you've most likely used one of the many products we invented, but that other people have somehow managed to steal from us. Black Mesa can eat my bankrupt... Right. Now you might be asking yourself, Cave, just how difficult are these tests? What was in that phone book of a contract I signed? Am I in danger? Let me answer those questions with a question. Who wants to make $60? Cash. You can also feel free to relax for up to 20 minutes in the waiting room, which is a damn sight more comfortable benches most of you were sleeping on when we found you. So, welcome to Aperture. You're here because we want the best, and you're it. Nope. Couldn't keep a straight face. Anyway, don't smudge up the glass down there. In fact, why don't you just go ahead and not touch anything, unless it's test related.
And push off the inevitable abandonment I know I will feel. Let's play with some slime. This fucking frequency took me so goddamn long because for whatever reason, when you jump while holding it, the radio just drops. It didn't help that I couldn't shoot while holding it and kept taking the plunge. After attempt, I finally got the radio in the air until it fell through its own portal. Listen, I saw the green light, I saw the counter, I have no clue what it sounded like.
Oh no.
I'm doing that again. There's actually another radio in the part of the room. That's hidden on top of the catcher box.
That's not Dev. I landed it. What?
I have completed and analyzed this game so many times. I have never once seen that happen. This chamber never ends. We move on to the Spider-Man section and shoot down the first camera we see. I've learned my lesson from last time. I'm leaving the new radio down here and platforming alone. I'll shoot a portal down to grab it once I'm at the top. I don't think this is Morse code. I'm starting to think, actually, I don't know what Morse code sounds like. Chamber 19. The final test chamber. We know what comes next. We're aware of the inevitable.
Greetings, friend. I'm Cave Johnson, CEO of Aperture Science. You might know us as a vital participant in the 1968 Senate hearings on missing astronauts. And you've most likely used one of the many products we invented, but that other people have somehow managed to steal from us.
Oh no.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for. Not the fire pit.
At the Enrichment Center, we promise never to value your safety above your unique ideas and creativity. However, not so vital testing apparatus.
Listen, I've played through this game dozens of times. I've become a master of avoiding this fire.
Greetings, friend. I'm Cave Johnson, CEO of Aperture Science. You might know us as a vital participant in the 1968 Senate hearings on missing astronauts. And you've most likely used one of the many products we invented, but that other people have somehow managed to steal from us. Black Mesa can eat my bankrupt...
Black Mesa?
Now you might be asking yourself,
wait a minute. Black Mesa. Do I remember before? Hold on. Hold on. Black Mesa. Black Mesa. Aha! You are! We know about it. It's the Half-Life universe.
Just how difficult are these tests? What was in that phone book of a contract I signed? Am I in danger? Let me answer those questions with a question. Who wants to make $60? Cash. You can also feel free to relax for up to 20 minutes in the waiting room, which is a damn sight more comfortable than the park benches most of you were sleeping on when we found you. So, welcome to Aperture. You're here because we want the best, and you're it. Nope. Couldn't keep a straight face. Anyway, don't smudge up the glass down there. In fact, why don't you just go ahead and not touch anything unless it's test related.
There you go.
Say, you're good at murder. Could you...
Oh my god. No.
No, wait. Just kill it and we'll call things even between us. No hard feelings.
No.
Please get it off me.
No. Pick it. Pick. It's not eating you. He wants your hugs.
Just get it off me.
No. Don't care. Okay, fine. The only works if you shut up and not being a talker.
Did you feel that? That idiot doesn't know what he's doing up there. This whole place is going to explode in a few hours if somebody doesn't disconnect him.
Oh my god, don't care. Shut up.
You're going to need me to replace him. We're at an impasse. So what do you say? You carry me up to him and put me back into my body, and I stop us from blowing up and let you go.
Yes. Shut the fuck up.
Helps, but it isn't going to power miracles. If I think too hard, I'm going to fry this potato before we get a chance to burn up in the atomic fireball that little idiot is going to...
Thank you. Stop showing up. Don't care.
The testing area is just up ahead. The quicker you get through, the quicker you'll get your $60.
Ooh.
Carolyn, are the compensation vouchers ready?
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson. Why did I just... Who is that? What the hell is going on here?
Shut up. Slime. We got here. We got him. Oh shit! Hold on. Mr. Gladys. Fucking Gladys. Fucking Gladys. Gladys. Freaking Gladys on Bordeaux too.
still going to find out what the hell's going on here, but calmly.
Gets a little splattered. Oh, for fuck's sake. Come on. Oh, you bitch. Wait, idea, hold on. Hold on, I'm thinking idea. Jello goes actually here. Jello goes here to make bouncy. And a little bit of the there we go. And now put here. Oh, come on. This is gonna be a long round. There we go. Now, we have to go back in here and make a portal here. Oh shit, mixed up. Hold on. I need to make a portal here. Hold on, let me just go here again, and then we have to go back, jump, do that. Hold on, go down one again, make a blue one, make bloom. Huh? Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. fuck. Hold on. Well, I'm gonna swap of green. Hold on. Let me just go this one. Oh, there we go. Oh, come on, hold on. Let me just like go back. Let's go back. I need to go. Bruh. Hold on. And now it's the blue.
Great job, astronaut, war hero, and/or Olympian. With your help, we're gonna change the world. This on? Hey, listen up down there. That thing's called an elevator, not a bathroom.
I swear I know him.
Yippee. Bruh.